picking up the big win last night over the Columbus Blue Jackets. We had a thriller in Thursday night football. And of course, the month of giving rolls on. We'll get to all of that and more today on the show. We will be joined by Andy Strickland, covers the St. Louis Blues, also part of the Cam and Strick podcast. Of course, the St. Louis Blues in town tomorrow to take on the Oilers. Last night, they got a bit of a controversial win over the Calgary Flames, depending on whose side of the puck you're on. If you're a Flames fan, they push the pad. If you're a Blues fan, that's just part of the game. We'll talk to Andy Strickland about that. Also, some thoughts on the change since making the move at head coach. Also, a couple former Oilers on that roster. We'll see what he thinks about what they've been able to do so far for his side. Lorianne Munzer will be by at 2:40. We'll talk the mental side of sports performance, among other things. Wanye Gretz in the studio at 3 o'clock. We'll also be joined by Jason Gregor, who went 3 for 3 with his game day predictions. We'll ask him, does he have the script? Also, Jared Dubin at 3:20. We'll look around the NFL. A fun game last night in Detroit. Dan Campbell leaving absolutely no doubt. Could have kicked a field goal with 40 seconds left to win and give Green Bay and Jordan Love an opportunity. He opts to go for it on 4th down, converts, runs the rest of the clock out, wins the game in walk-off fashion. The Detroit Lions now 11 straight wins, 12-1. Heck of a season for the Lions, a team that struggled for a long time. We've got Paul Surfer on the basketball show. Last week, we talked about getting into some of the Canadians to look out for at the collegiate level south of the border. We'll get that full report. Also talk a few more things about what's going on in the association. We've got Craig Button, Mark Spector, and Alan Mitchell to wrap up the show. So lots of things going on. I do want to let you know, though, it is the month of giving, and it's been a terrific start to the month so far. We've had a lot of great prizes and a lot of great charities making a lot of money. Today, it is the Pyramid of Money, and that's something we've been doing for a few years now because there's a lot of people that would love to donate to these charities. And, frankly, the prices get pretty high, which we love to see because it's all going to charity. But with this, people can actually make donations a little bit lower. So what we do, we have 15 people donate $100, 10 people donating $200, 4 people donating $500, and 2 people donating $1,000. With that, all of a sudden, we raise $7,500, and that's going to go to the Holiday Hamper. For those of you who aren't aware of what the Holiday Hamper is, we are going to have a guest on shortly, Chris Curtola from the Founders Board, to talk about what the charity does. I've been a part of that for 3 or 4 years now. My wife and I go do it. And essentially, you can make a cash donation, and that goes a long way. You can buy a turkey or whatever else it might go to, but you can also adopt a family and, you buy them meal prep for the big dinner. You can buy them some gifts for the kids if they need it. And then go and get that drop off. And it's a really cool experience for those of you who might want to do something, give back this season. You can make the donation, 1-833-401-1440 with the text line, or call Declan, 1-833-401-1440. As I said, we're building the pyramid. So if you want to donate $100, we need 15 people. If you want to donate $200, we need 10 people. 4 people will donate $500, and hopefully we get those 2 people donating $1,000. That raises $7,500, and it goes a long way. So if you're able to donate, we certainly would appreciate you doing so. And got one in here already. 1-833-401-1440. Sean already making a donation of $1,000. So we only need one more. So if you're out there and you want to get in on this awesome cause that we have, just let us know. 1-833-401-1440. We've also in the past have had certain professions make a donation and challenge the rest. So we like when that happens. Companies want to get in on it as well. That's always fun. And I'm just looking here for everyone who donates, might have to throw your name in a draw for tickets because we had some donated, and we actually have a pair of tickets for tomorrow night's game against the St. Louis Blues. Gregor's seats, we'll raise some money for Gregor's Foundation. That's going to go till 5 o'clock. So if you want to get in on the tickets for the Edmonton Oilers game tomorrow night, taking on the Blues, text in as well. 1-833-401-1440. As I said, lots to get to here on this show, but we want to make sure that is well known. We want to get that. I'd love to get that out of the way in the first hour if we could. A few donations here and there, get us going. As we're doing this, I got a text from my mom. She's in for $100, so there we go. We're $1,100 in for the pyramid of money for the Holiday Hamper. We should talk a little bit about what is going on in the world today for the NHL the Edmonton Oilers, of course, making a trade. Jacob Perreault coming over from the Montreal Canadiens. A former first-round pick, 27th overall by the Anaheim Ducks back in 2020. Scrolling through his DB page here, offensively hasn't had too much. Best season going back to the AHL in the 2021-2022 season where he had 14 goals. As I said, first-round pick. He was 27th overall in 2020. Spent this year in the AHL between a couple teams. So maybe a bit of a shot in the dark here. Strengthen the AHL team, see what he brings. Seems to rack up the PIMS a little bit here. And going the other way, defenseman Noel Hoffenmeyer from the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll see what happens. Craig Button's going to be on the show a little bit. He's pretty knowledgeable when it comes to the NHL draft. We'll have to see what his pre-draft evaluation was for Jacob Perreault coming over to the Edmonton Oilers. Another big trade today in the NHL. Jacob Trouba going from the New York Rangers to the Anaheim Ducks. We have a big Ducks fan in our midst here, Brandon Douglas. He was a little confused by this move. I said, why not just throw a little bit of a Trouba and the name slips me. The big beard. We had him on our show, Radko Gudas. Just make one of the most physical defensive pairings of all time. Let them throw some hits and muck it up just a little bit. I think that might be interesting. But yeah, obviously for Trouba, the situation kind of got sour the longer the situation went on. He has a no movement clause, which can be, something you have to be cautious of, I guess, in the NHL these days. Handing out those no movement clause, players can kind of dictate what they want to do, especially when you're the captain of the New York Rangers. Not a situation I think that we would have thought that would have gotten to, but now the Anaheim Ducks bring him in, and we'll see how that works out for him. They'll be a physical team. Trouba certainly not afraid to do some controversial things. Declan Kruger here with me as well. Declan, I know you're fired up this weekend for the college football scene. A lot of things can go a bunch of different ways. Last night we had the Lions and the Green Bay Packers meeting on Thursday night. Lions pick up the 34-31 victory, which was fantastic. I mean, it was a very fun, entertaining game. What did you make of Dan Campbell deciding to go for it 4th and 1 and leave no doubt, not give the Green Bay Packers a chance?
Well, I love it because anytime we see something like that, anytime we see Dan Campbell in those situations, we get the South Park meme, right? Of Randy with the wheelbarrow. And that is just, it so perfectly encapsulates who Dan Campbell is. I love it, man, because it is who he is. And I know Riverboat Ron had the reputation of being the gambler, but Dan Campbell really has taken that moniker. I love it. It's who he is. And he has an offense that's built for it. So anytime he does it, I have no problems with it. And I think it served this team well. I think it obviously paid off last night. We saw that in the final results. So Dan Campbell's doing what he's doing. His club is 12-1. It's really hard to knock him.
Yeah, kind of just the mentality that they've built over his time there. I mean, he came in and he had that kind of famous speech about biting kneecaps and doing all those weird things, and people thought he was kind of nuts. But over time, he's really turned that culture around. They've had some great drafts, brought in a lot of good players, developed well. And Jared Goff has, since coming over from Detroit, I know he had the pick last night, but been pretty good holding on ball security. Hasn't been too much of an issue. So they're a lot of fun to watch. The Green Bay Packers at the tough loss. Obviously, they'll still hang around. But we shall see. I noticed a lot of people were upset about the officiating in that one. We talked about it a little bit on Fantasy Frenzy. Amon St. Brown literally blocking the helmet off a player. I thought that was legal hands to the face, but they got away with it. So as long as you get away with it, not a problem. Triple C in a truck texting in. Dan's got nothing on Nick. Triple C in a truck. Eagles fans wanted Nick Sirianni gone. Like 2 weeks into the season. It's been great since, but I have a longer memory than that. I can remember when Eagles fans hated Nick Sirianni, and things have changed pretty quickly. The Jason Gregor Show is, of course, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Use promo code Gregor50 and get a free $50 play. So you put in like $5, $10 minimum, you get a $50 free play with the code word Gregor50. Also tonight is Lotto Max worth $33 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Use your game sense. Triple C in a truck follows up the whole Nick Sirianni thing. Yeah, dumb Eagles fans. Yeah, well, that could be the case. Last night here in town, the Edmonton Oilers picked up the big win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. It was a cool pre-game ceremony for Connor McDavid and his 1,000th career point. Had his wife, had his dog on the ice. Lenny got up in the crowd. Always a big ovation. And if Connor McDavid's going to play like that with Lenny in attendance, maybe the Oilers got to fly him out, keep him in the building, because he had 4 assists. Looked absolutely fantastic. Zach Hyman in his return, 2 goals. Maybe a little bit of a message to the selection committee for Hockey Canada. 1 goal, classic Zach Hyman fashion in the paint, taking a nice pass from Connor McDavid. That was McDavid's 20th assist on the year. Now, obviously, up to 23. But the second goal for Zach Hyman coming in, top corner, that's what you love to see. When Zach Hyman's on his game, those are the types of things that will happen. Matthias Ekholm picked up his third goal of the season as well. Jeff Skinner, kind of a classic Jeff Skinner goal. I know the Oilers fans and the organization would love to see more like that, but the Edmonton Oilers do get the win. In between the pipes, Calvin Pickard did what he had to do. If the Oilers offense can score 6, then letting in 3 goals is never going to be a problem. I think this is more of the team we expect to see, but got to do it on a consistent basis, and it will start on Saturday when the Oilers take on the St. Louis Blues. As we mentioned, the text line is 1-833-401-1440. That is the EWEL inbox. Score a power play with the partners in power at EWEL. Get all of your electrical needs at ewel.ca with 24/7 ordering and shipping in Edmonton and across Alberta. It is the Pyramid of Money. We're raising some money today for the holiday hamper. If you'd like to get in, 1-833-401-1440. We have $100 bids, $200, $500, and $1,000. We have a $1,000 bid already and one $100 bid. So if you want to get yours in, you can text it to 1-833-401-1440. Just tell us the amount you'd like to donate. And then also, you can just put in your name, and the fine folks at the Holiday Hamper will reach out to you in a few minutes. Also, we have Jason Gregor's tickets, actually. The Gregor special for tomorrow's game as the Oilers take on the St. Louis Blues. If you'd like to go to that game, we'll do a quick auction. That'll be done by 5 o'clock tonight, just with your name, your bid, and go down and watch the Oilers. Should be a fun one. Husks texting in to 1-833-401-1440. Says, as per my text above, if Connor's dog and my daughter are at the game, we can't lose, saying that his daughter has fallen in love with the Oilers a couple years ago. She's been to 9 games. They've won every game. So very impressive. Husks, maybe we got to get your daughter some season tickets so they can get out to a few more games and take it all in. Earl coming in with a $200 donation. Earl, thank you very much. We're going to pass that information along to the fine folks at the Holiday Hamper momentarily. And I'd say within probably the next half an hour to an hour, they will be reaching out. So that's one $200 donation down. 9 to go. We need 9 more $200 bids. 14 more $100 bids, 4 $500 bids, and 1 more $1,000 bid. That would be quite the number for us. 7,500 to the Holiday Hamper, and I think we're off to a pretty good start here as well. Scrolling through the text line here. Hey guys, thought that was a little risky by Dan Campbell taking that chance. Why not just trust your defense and kick the field goal? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a good point. I think when you go for it, in a way, you're sending the message that you trust your defense. Like, if we don't get it, we think you can prevent them from going down the field and scoring. Also, belief that we can trust our team to get that 1 yard, especially when you're Montgomery, you got the big boys up front on the offensive line. I think that that goes a long way to the confidence of the team. Now, if they don't get it, totally understandable. I would be it would be a situation that I think Dan Campbell would just have a good answer for. Like, we're in a good position. Doesn't matter. All right, now we are going to bring in Chris Curtola, founding board member of the Holiday Hamper Foundation. Chris, thank you for joining us on the show. How are you doing today?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for having us on. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So the period of money, great opportunity for us to raise a little bit of money for the great local charities here in the city. As I mentioned, we need $1,500 donations, 10 $200 donations, 4 $500 donations, and 2 $1,000 donations. We've already got Sean coming in with a $1,000 donation. My mom did 100. So if my mom did 100, I think you got to match people. And Earl came in at $200. So we've got a very good start here. I'm sure we'll get there, but let's ramp it up, guys. We got to get there quickly. The Holiday Hamper, when did it start and what does it do?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Ring those phones, as they used to say. You know what? The Holiday Hamper is actually, this is our 20th anniversary. So 20 years ago, a group of young people with the Junior Chamber of Commerce decided to start a little project and say, hey, let's help out some of these families at one of our members' schools. She was working at St. Alphonsus in the inner city there as a teacher. And we helped, I think, about 35 families that first year. And then, the next year we said, hey, let's try 2 schools. Maybe we can do more. And, 20 years later, we're now actually helping 77 schools. And this is going to be about 2,000 families that we're going to help in Edmonton here this year. So it's been a 20-year run. We're a local Edmonton charity. We have no staff. It's all volunteers, and all, the money that we raise goes directly to this program. And yeah, we're going to make a big impact this year for sure.
And we've got Manny coming in with another $100. So Manny, big thank you for the donation. So Earl, what does this give the families in need, and what can they expect to have to do if you do volunteer, not only to give money, but to get more involved in the program and adopt a family?
Yeah, there's lots of ways to get involved. Thanks for mentioning that too. Actually today is the last day to sign up if you actually want to adopt a family and become what we call an elf and do the delivery. So, if you want to get more involved and not just do a donation today, you can do that. So when people sign up on our website, you can go to holidayhamper.ca. Like I said, today's the last day. I think we're still looking for about 150 families to get adopted. You sign up, you pick a medium, small, large family. A really big push right now is for the large size families is what we're really in need of. And then you just fill out the form and we send you a confirmation email. And then you're all set. We're going to send you some information. You actually go to the grocery store. We just brought on a sponsor, the Italian Center Shop. So they're actually going to do a contest for people who shop there. You go buy your hamper. We usually say it's between around, $80 to $200, depending on the size of your family. You buy those groceries. You get your hamper together, some family gifts perhaps too. And then on December 21st is our big delivery day. So everybody comes to the Northlands, the old Northlands, the Expo Center. We have a big drive-through with about 8 lanes. And you pull up and we scan your QR code, and we have a big turkey that we'll put in your trunk. We have a whole bunch of vegetables that are donated by some great local farmers, including Kuhlman's Farms and the Little Potato Company. And yeah, we give you the address, and then you actually get to deliver that hamper face-to-face to the family in need and really experience that gift of giving. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, my wife and I had done that the previous 3 years. You don't even have to get out of your car. Amazing. It's so efficient when you get there. You just open the trunk, it's loaded all up, and you're on your way. You get the address. And it's a really rewarding experience, especially, sometimes, and not all the time, but sometimes the family will come out and help, and you get a chance to kind of have a little conversation with them. It is super rewarding. So how has their fundraising gone this year? You said this is the last day to adopt a family, become an elf. How close are we to our goal here?
Well, unfortunately, you know what? Every year we have to start at zero, Connor. So it's always tricky for us to raise these funds, because a lot of the money that's going to be donated today, it goes to buying those turkeys. And the turkey bill in itself is almost $80,000 this year. With food prices going up, that means costs for us too are going up. So we definitely need more donations. And if you're involved in the pyramid of giving today, jump on that for sure. That's an awesome thing that you guys are doing for us again. And then if you want to make a smaller donation too, you can go to our website, holidayhamper.ca, and you'll get an instant tax receipt as well for your donation. But you know what? Yeah, we are behind. I think we're still about $60,000 away from our goal probably right now. So every little bit helps. And, I think the nice thing about making a donation too is that it's going to a family with kids that's in need, and it's really going to change their Christmas this year. It makes a huge impact.
Absolutely. So we're taking donations. We want $100, $200, $500, $1,000 denominations. That'll go a long way. Immediately, if we can fill out the pyramid, we'll be up to $7,500, and that's a start. That's a start.
Awesome.
We'll be getting there. I think I've got confidence in our listeners in the city here that so generous during the holiday season, and it's such a good charity, one that my family's been happy to be a part of for a while here and help out with. And we'll continue to do so. So, Chris, thanks so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. And now, will you be calling people shortly?
Yeah. So if you make a donation for the Pyramid of Giving here, just like sending in a text or calling in, I'll be getting in touch with you and get all your information, and we'll get you your tax receipt as well. So every donation today, too, in the Pyramid of Giving, you do get a tax receipt. And, feel free to make even a bigger donation. There is no limit. So, yes, we love your listeners, and we know they always step up. And go Oilers.
Absolutely. Hey, good karma. You spend a little money, help some charities. Good things can happen for the Edmonton Oilers. Chris, thanks so much for doing this today. And the people that have reached out, they can expect a call from you shortly.
Thanks, guys.
There you go. That's Chris Curtola. Little dive into what's going on with the holiday hamper. And we talked about it. I kind of mentioned sometimes you get a chance to talk with the people that you've adopted a family. We did it back in 2021. We had a family that had come over from Ukraine and got a chance to really talk with them, their kids, give them their presents. It was really cool. Other years, you might not get that. Sometimes it's kind of just drop it off on the front step and get out of there. It can go either way, but the chance you get to meet some of these people, it is very cool. So we want to raise $7,500 for the holiday hamper by doing this. 15 people donate $100, 10 people donate $200, 4 people donate $500, and 2 people donate $1,000. We already had Sean donate $1,000. So we're halfway there for the really big one. Earl put in $200, my mom, and then Manny putting in $100. So we are on our way, and I'm sure we'll get there sooner than later. Yeah, it's fantastic, and we'll see where this goes. I got an email here, actually, that just came in from Turan and the staff at GS Construction. It says, Connor, great job filling in. Thank you. Our company loves what Gregor and you guys are doing with the month of giving. It has become somewhat of a Christmas tradition for all of us to listen all month long, and we would be honored to match today's Pyramid of Giving once again. It was great hearing how many listeners want to get involved with this all month, and we at GS Construction are listeners as well. Thanks again for the opportunity, and it's a great opportunity to support the holiday hamper. Merry Christmas from Turan and the staff at GS Construction. So there you go. As they have done in the past, outstanding members of our community, they're going to do it again. If we can raise the $7,500, they're going to match on the other side. So that all of a sudden becomes $15,000 to the holiday hamper. So let's get there as soon as we can. If you can make a donation, really would appreciate it. If a little bit, $100 is a little bit too much, you can always go to their website, donate 20 or 40. $40 buys a turkey for a family, and that would go a long way as well. Lots to get to on the show today. We've got Olympic gold medalist Lorianne Munzer in studio at 2:40. Wanye Gretz, Jared Dubin, talk some NFL football. Paul Sir will be by to talk some hoops. Craig Button to look around the NHL. Of course, big news today, Trouba heading to Anaheim. Well, how did that happen? We'll talk to Craig about that as well. Spec, Alan Mitchell from the Lowdown Flow Tide. That's coming up at 5:20. But up next, we'll head to St. Louis, talk little Blues as they're in town tomorrow to take on the Oilers. We'll hear from Andy Strickland, Blues Rinkside reporter. This is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 furnace service company for the holidays because we don't charge overtime rates, including 24/7 emergency. Oh, I need service, please, Santa. Tell me a price. My furnace is naughty. Would you please make it nice? No, I can't wait to find it under my tree. Please send me service from Legacy. No overtime or emergency rates during the holidays or ever. That's how you service your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At Papa John's, better is our specialty. Try our butter chicken pizza, the meats, the works, garden fresh, and more. Each special in its own way, just like you. With that ooey, gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality topping. Special has never tasted better. And so, for a limited time, get any large specialty pizza for just $17.99 with promo code LG1799 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some Papa John's.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches. We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
Ain't it beautiful? There's electricity in the air. Carrie Dahl here from Volvo of Edmonton, where the Volvo XC40 and C40 fully electric vehicle is now in stock, along with a great selection of Volvo T8 hybrid models. Experience the trusted Volvo quality and technology to power into tomorrow at Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference.
Volvo of Edmonton.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
For half a century, that's 50 years, GS Construction has been building the foundation of Edmonton and the surrounding area's infrastructure. But let's make one thing clear. This milestone would never be achieved without the dedication of our incredible team. Together, we've built the underground infrastructure that keeps things running smoothly, from the existing to the new underground systems. It's 50 years of hard work the team has put in to make it all possible. Here's to another 50 years. For more on our team and our work, Visit gsconstruction.ca.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your fave like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $10,104 off select 2024 Sierra 2500 AT4 models. Make loading easier than ever with the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Make hauling easier than ever with up to 14 available camera views, including transparent trailer view. And make finding tunes easier than ever with a class-leading 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen. Yeah, let's get to work. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
What would it sound like if Alberta breathed a collective sigh of relief? Maybe like... or a little like... We're about to find out. Because Alberta drivers are finally getting some relief on car insurance. Learn how the new Care First model is bringing you more benefits, faster care, and lower cost premiums at alberta.ca/care-first. That's better. A message from the Government of Alberta.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Let's try that again. The portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. May the better team win, and may you eat better pizza. Order an extra large New York style one-topping pizza for only $17.99 today at papajohns.ca.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Go back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Go have some fun this weekend. NFL, NHL, NBA. Make sure to use your game sense, though. PlayAlberta.ca, officials partner of the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in for Gregor. He's going to join us later on in the day. Around 3 o'clock with Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Kate the Great here as well, coming to you live from the eWell studios here in West Edmonton Mall. News just coming down here. The Edmonton Elks have reached a contract extension with Trey Ford. It's a 3-year deal, keeping him with the green and gold through 2027. Not a big surprise. We had Ed Hervey on the show yesterday. If you missed it, go check out the podcast. He did say he's working towards it. He was very confident that this would happen. Less than 24 hours later, it is done. So Trey Ford, he'll be in Edmonton for the foreseeable future. And I got to say, the best chance for him to get some starts in the CFL is here. And we'll see what happens as the Elks will continue to forge their offensive defense coordinators. Looks like Maximic on the offensive side. We've heard JC Sherritt, defensive coordinator. Just got to wait for the official announcement to come down here. Right now, though, let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. They lowered their prices, and now you can get a coffee for only $1. Also, Fan Day deals on Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. $4 Big Macs, McChicken, or fish fillet when you order through the app, only at McDonald's. We are now joined by Andy Strickland. He is rinkside reporter with the St. Louis Blues, also part of the Cam and Strick podcast. Andy, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing very good. Very good. Thank you. We appreciate you coming on the show here. We'll start off here just looking at last night's game. Obviously, a little bit of controversy. I don't know what you were thinking when you were waiting for the official ruling to go down, but it worked out pretty well for the St. Louis Blues. Pick up the big 2 points in Calgary. What was your thought process as the review just continued to linger on?
I don't have a thought process because you just never know how it's going to play out. I mean, that's the bottom line when you watch these reviews. You just don't know. So I guess if you're the team hoping for it to go your way, you just hold your breath in terms of, if you're the team that scored the goal. And on the other side, you're holding your breath too, and hopefully, hoping that they wave it off. But, in that particular situation, I mean, if you just use common sense, the puck's sitting there, Colton Parayko, he's got the long stick. You can easily see it in the replay. He makes contact with the puck prior to making contact with the pad of the goaltender in that situation. And it wasn't like he pushed the pad of the goaltender across the goal line, which led to the puck then crossing the goal line. I think the puck crosses the goal line regardless. So it was quite the review. I mean, listen, you could have grabbed some popcorn and kicked your feet up and watched a flick you know, I mean, and while you're waiting for them to come down with the ruling. But I think they really examined it over and over again. The Situation Room obviously wanted to make sure they got it right, and I think they did. You know, listen, if you're St. Louis and the roles were reversed in the situation, and it was Jordan Bennington's pad and that was getting pushed, and you know, it was an overtime situation for the Blues, then maybe, you know, you would feel, you know, the same way that Calgary feels today. But I think just using common sense, looking at it, I think the puck goes in regardless.
Yeah, I'm with you. And watching it just seems like the longer those reviews go on for, the more uncertain I am. Like, okay, well, it's been 3-4 minutes. I guess it could go either way. I don't know what they're seeing. I thought it was a good goal. And of course, the neighbors to the north were always happy to see the Flames go down. I want to ask you, just with Jim Montgomery, since being hired on November 24th, obviously the Blues really turned things around. If he wasn't fired out in Boston, would Drew Bannister still be with the team, or do you think that coaching change was inevitable?
Well, you never know, because they played 5 games since then, and things weren't trending in the right direction at the time. So, I mean, obviously things could have changed, you know, between, you know, now and, you know, that Sunday morning when they made the announcement official, that Jim Montgomery was coming on board. But I will say this, I mean, the game prior to the announcement being made, I think the team was in Buffalo. They had lost to Buffalo. You know, even if they won that game 7-0, I think they were making that coaching change regardless. It wasn't like Jim Montgomery was just standing by and they just called him and said, hey, okay, come to New York and you're going to coach the team against the Rangers, which was his first game behind the bench as the Blues head coach. I think that was already wrapped up. And the plan was for him to coach his first game with the Blues at Madison Square Garden. So I would lean towards believing that Drew Bannister would still be coaching the team. I talked to Doug Armstrong for a while today, actually, and we kind of discussed that. I mean, I think he still sticks to what he said originally, that, you know, he made the decision because Jim Montgomery was available. So if Jim Montgomery is still coaching the Boston Bruins, then I think it's probably safe to say that Drew Bannister is probably still behind the bench with St. Louis. You know, it was the perfect storm for both the team and for Montgomery. People don't realize Montgomery's strong connection and his history to St. Louis and the organization. I mean, he played here, but he also played minor league hockey here in St. Louis with the Missouri River Otters. He was an assistant coach here for 2 years under Craig Berube, right before taking the head coaching job with Boston. That led to him getting the head coaching job with Boston. He's always spent his summers here in St. Louis. He's got a lot of relationships with people inside the organization, including Keith Tkachuk, Scott Mellanby, and Al McInnes, and obviously has a good relationship with Doug Armstrong. So it made too much sense. Once he was available, I think the decision was made, regardless of how the team was playing or performing. They wanted to get him locked up. They didn't want to give an opportunity for another team to be able to talk to him and find a way to snatch him up and get a contract done, whether that be Chicago now, who you see just fired a coach, or Detroit, who's been rumored to maybe have a coach that, you know, could be on the hot seat. There's some other teams too. So I think once you identify your guy, and once you make a decision that you probably are okay moving on, there's no point in waiting.
Andy Strickland joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in, St. Louis Blues ringside reporter. And yeah, 4 wins in 5 games. The game they lost in overtime, so you still pick up that point. Pretty impressive. Is it a new coach bump, or do you think he's starting to kind of mold this team into more of into their winning ways?
Well, I think it's a combination of the two. There's no doubt that it's a new coach bump, and we've seen this for years here in St. Louis. I mean, you go back to when Andy Murray took over, the team went on a run, almost made the playoffs. I mean, they were completely out of it. The following year, they did make the playoffs. You know, Davis Payne got a contract extension because of the way the team performed when he took over. Mike Yo's team went on to win a round in the playoffs. Craig Berube, obviously, you know, we know what took place when he took over. Ken Hitchcock, his team won the Jack Adams Trophy the year that he took over for Davis Payne. I kind of got out of order there. But, you know, you even look at a guy like Drew Bannister last year when he took over for Craig Berube. I think his record was 31-19-5. So that led to him getting hired as the permanent head coach, or at least they removed the interim tag. So I think it's a combination of the new coach bump, but there's no doubt the team's playing with more swagger and more confidence. And you also got your number one center back in Robert Thomas, and arguably your top defenseman, Philip Broberg, back in the lineup too. Broberg's been unbelievable. He had 2 more assists last night. He's been plus or even in every game except for 2 this year. And every night he's either, you know, your top or first or second best defenseman on the team in terms of how he performs in the game. So listen, there is a honeymoon period. The marriage probably doesn't start until training camp next year. So I think you could probably look at the honeymoon for the rest of this year, and we'll see what kind of ride, Jim Montgomery and, the confidence that he's bringing to this team, and just having the environment change and the energy that he's bringing to the table. We'll see what they can do with that wave from here and until the rest of the regular season ends.
Yeah, Philip Broberg, just want to touch on that. I mean, he's been outstanding. 2 goals, 10 points, 12 points. Missed some time to injury, but still averaging over 20 minutes of ice time per game. When the offer sheet was made this offseason, we said, that 4.5 might be high for the Oilers now, but in 1 calendar year or less, that could be a steal of a deal, and it's starting to look that way. On the flip side, Dylan Holloway, 8 goals, 8 helpers, 16 points, I believe tied for second on the team, just over 15 minutes time of ice per game. How's Dylan Holloway looked?
He's looked great, and he's a guy that you don't necessarily have to look at the stat sheet after the game to see how he played. Now, if you see points on the score sheet, whether it's goals or assists, then that is a bonus. And this guy is riding a 5-game scoring streak right now where he's putting up points, he's shooting the puck, he's getting open, he's in position to get open. He's got great chemistry right now that he's showing with Jordan Kyrou and Braden Shen. So, he's been as good as advertised. I don't like to say better than advertised because I think they knew both guys would be good. I think Broberg, for him to be this good this quickly, and you mentioned the salary. I mean, he is earning his money with what he's being paid. I mean, his role on the team would suggest he should be making 5.5. I mean, look at Ryan Suter. Where would they be without Ryan Suter right now? I mean, these contracts for these veteran guys who come in and sign the minimum, who play 20-plus minutes. I mean, when Broberg went down, they moved him up the lineup, and he was playing on the top pair every night with Colton Parayko. This guy was playing 25-plus minutes a night on a lot of occasions. And he's got that old-school gamesmanship, man, that you got to love. And just watch what he gets away with, behind the play. He's slashing guys. He's in the face of guys during scrums. I mean, he just brings an old-school way of playing the game that you don't see from too many defensemen in today's game anymore. And it's kind of refreshing to see, to be honest with you. So he's been fantastic. But I know your question was about Dylan Holloway. Listen, he's got speed. He's got a really good shot. He works so hard, and he's responsible defensively. And you can kind of slide him up and down the lineup. I mean, he's not necessarily a top-line guy, but he can play with Robert Thomas if necessary. He can play center. He can play wing. You can slide him down to the third line in more of a checking role. So he brings that versatility. But he's scoring goals right now. He already has a career high in goals scored. I mentioned the scoring streak, and who knows what his numbers are going to look like when the season's over.
A lot of Oilers fans kind of gritting their teeth and smiling. I think they'd wished Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg still in the blue and orange. Tomorrow night, obviously, the Blues come to Edmonton. Should be a great game. When it comes to trying to slow down the McDavid, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins line, obviously last night, Connor McDavid, 4 helpers. Hyman had a couple goals. What do you think the plan of attack will be for St. Louis?
Well, Colton Parayko being on the ice, that'll be the plan of attack. And that's why he made Team Canada's roster to begin with. The ability to defend against speed with his long reach, his stick, his skating ability, his ability to recover. And, he plays against top players every single night. And so they put him on Canada's roster to go up against to go up against Matthews and Eichel and these guys. And so, he'll be given that task. I mean, how many guys really, truly are successful? You're not going to shut down Connor McDavid. It's just not going to happen. But that'll be his responsibility. And you'll see Broberg likely playing with him tomorrow night. So, listen, it's going to be interesting to see, how much attention this receives, how the fans respond to Broberg and Holloway coming back. I mean, this is one of the biggest misses. I don't mean to pile on the Oilers fans or, Mr. Bowman there in Edmonton, but this is one of the biggest misses that I can remember. And I remember saying it at the time. I know you brought on guys like, Jeff Skinner and some of these other guys. How you let these guys at 22 and 23, guys that you developed, guys that you drafted in the first round, how you just let them walk for a 2-year deal. I mean, I know there's a significant raise, and you had the looming contracts with David and Draisaitl, but you only get players like Broberg every so often. And you know how you get them? You draft them, and you got to be able to draft eighth overall to be able to get your hands on these guys. Otherwise, you typically just don't get them, and you can't replace them. So it just boggles my mind watching these guys on a daily basis, specifically Broberg, just how you allow this guy to get away. So I apologize for Edmonton Oilers fans. I'm not trying to pile on, but watching this guy, man, again, the only way you get these guys is by drafting them. You had them. I don't know how you let them get away.
There was the week the Oilers had to match, and Andy, I will tell you for the 2 weeks afterwards, this was the topic of this shows because that was a lot of people. How did this happen? How do they get both of them? You know, when Cody Ceci was traded, it was thought that that's the money. You lock up Broberg. You got him in there. It's already set. And for both of them to leave, there was a lot of surprised people. And yeah, the start of the season didn't help that at all. It should be a fun one tomorrow night, though, down at Rogers Place. Andy, thanks for doing this.
Looking forward to it. And thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate you coming on. There you go. That is Andy Strickland, St. Louis Blues rinkside reporter. And I think there's a lot of Blues fans that think the exact same thing. How the heck did that happen? A lot of Oilers fans probably thinking that too. Perplexed Oilers fan says, I can't stand St. Louis anymore. I hope they miss the playoffs. Sham says, this guy, yeah, he didn't want to rub it in Oilers fans' faces, but it happened. It happened. And I remember over the summer, we had a lot of frustrated Oilers fans, but also a lot that said, let them go. They don't want to be here. Let them go. We got a few more donations for the Pyramid of Giving for the holiday hamper today. Alex H. came in with a $100 donation, and James G. My writing is awful. But James, $500 donation. Thank you very much. The holiday hamper people will be reaching out to you guys shortly to get that donation. If you'd like to donate, if you're just tuning in, we are doing the Pyramid of Giving here on the Jason Gregor Show as the month of giving rolls on. We need donations for $100 from 12 more people. Then we need a couple $200 donations. That we're trailing there. We need 9 more. How about $500 donations? If we can get that, we need 3 more. And then 1 more donation of $1,000. Any companies out there want to get your name right on the radio? Hey, this is a perfect opportunity. You can make a donation, help out the holiday hamper. And if we do that, we'll raise $7,500. Fine folks at GS Construction are going to match it. So that'll put us up to $15,000. We had Chris on the show earlier mention they're $60,000 away from where they need to be. A lot of help. Families need help this season. And if we can get up to $15,000, obviously that's going to help out a lot. So if you can make a donation, we would love to have it. 1-833-401-1440. We just need your name and the amount you'd like to donate. We'll reply, let you know that we got it, and go from there. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little mental health preparation, sports performance, group it all together with Lorianne Munzer. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting. I need a fire alarm. I need data. I need a generator. I need panels.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net. At Papa John's, better is our specialty. Try our butter chicken pizza, the meats, the works, garden fresh, and more. Each special in its own way, just like you. With that ooey, gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality toppings. Special has never tasted better. And so, for a limited time, get any large specialty pizza for just $17.99 with promo code LG1799 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some Papa John's.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys, that's right, because the HR lady said it's in humane conditions. But ho, 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 golly gee, Santa got a 1-year guarantee, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving for work and play. And that tradition continues with the final year-end 2024 clear-out. Enjoy low rates or thousands in year-end savings on every vehicle, including F-150, Bronco, and Super Duty. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. Denham Ford on Highway 2A in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
Cars cost less than Wetaskiwin. Johnson, whoa.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson again. Did you know that all mechanical equipment has a typical life expectancy? A furnace and air conditioner generally lasts 15 to 25 years, and your hot water tank is more in the 6 to 12-year range. With that in mind, your mechanical equipment will last longer with regular maintenance and service from the pros at Weiss Johnson. Visit wjheats.com today to book your service or provide you with an estimate for a new furnace, air conditioner, or hot water tank that is long past its prime.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers Score and Win for On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave and 118th.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It's the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, as well as Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you here today. Gregor off. He'll be back Monday. He's also going to join us at 3 o'clock with Wanye Gretz. Talk a little bit about his perfect night when it comes to predictions and also the month of giving and what's going on. For those who don't know, maybe you're just tuning in, raising money for the holiday hamper today, Pyramid of Giving. If you haven't heard this before, I'm sure you have. I'll go through it very quickly, though. We need 15 donations of $100, 10 donations of $200, 4 donations of $500, and 2 donations of $1,000. With that, we'll raise $7,500. The beautiful people at GS Construction have said, hey, you guys get that, we'll match. That'll put us up to $15,000 for holiday hamper, bringing meals to those in need on Christmas, as well as some gifts for the families. You can adopt the family. Sean already gave us $1,000. He said, hey, our family is also doing an adopt a family. Challenging you, if you can, go do one of those as well. My wife and I have done it a few times last 3 years. It's awesome. I recommend the experience. It's a lot of fun. You go to the grocery shopping, then you go buy, depending on the family size you adopt, some gifts for the kids. The look on their faces is unbeatable. So go check it out. Holiday Hamper. And Shelly, Manny, Alex, Earl, James, all making donations already. We just got one in. Randy A. donating $1,000. So Randy, thank you very much. That is absolutely awesome. The $2,000 spots are filled with Sean and Randy. But hey, if you want to donate $1,000 as well, you can. You get a tax receipt also. Remember, Chris told us that. So for those wondering, you do get the tax receipt right now, though. Let's talk to Lorianne Munzer. Oh, and we got an unnamed, and we've got Ron with $100 donations. So thank you, guys. That is absolutely awesome. Olympic gold medalist, author, success coach, Lorianne Munzer joining us in studio. Lorianne, how are you doing?
Hey, happy Friday.
Happy
Doing awesome.
Friday. Yeah, good to have you in studio. Thank you. It's awesome. I love seeing these donations come in. You kind of get goosebumps every time someone makes a donation because it is going to go a long way. $100, that's 2 turkeys and a little bit more. So you're feeding people with those donations, and we love to have it. And before we get into maybe the sports side of things, let's talk about it, because the holidays can be overwhelming. There's a lot going on. You know, money can be tight. There's gifts, there's meals, there's all sorts of things going on. And not everyone loves it. So what would, some tips from you just staying mentally healthy through the holiday season?
Absolutely. And this for some people is a really hard time. Right?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
difficult and it's not easy. There's a lot of you're being pulled here, you got to go there, you got to, go to 2 different houses on Christmas
Mhm.
Day. How do you do it all? Or maybe you're cooking a big bird. A lot of people are coming over. A lot of the times I share with people is what is in your circle of control? What can you control? And a lot of times when we slow things down and we just think about that for a minute, there could be a couple of things. Maybe you've got to go to work. Maybe if you can organize a few things, or maybe ask some friends or family members for some help of, coordinating the dinner or gifts or something like that, whatever it is. Also taking a look at your schedule. What needs to be done? Like it's a non-negotiable, you got to do it. And then where else can you start to maybe span out a little bit more some of the other things that are really important, or maybe you've got to contact a number of people or do different things. And those are always a couple of the top things, because whenever you're in control, you feel better.
Mhm.
If you're being thrown off your game or stuff is coming sideways, left, right, it doesn't feel that great. So slowing it down, also making sure that you're hydrated, you have enough fuel, food in you as well, and also that good S word, sleep. Are you getting 4 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep? And we all have a magic number that we do optimal performance at, and we really thrive at. It's not just waiting for Sunday where, okay, I can sleep in 10 hours and catch up. We can never, ever catch up. But if you can be a little more consistent, even sometimes just taking 15 minutes more, or getting up a little earlier, 10 or 15 minutes can make all the difference. And then what do you need to start each day so that you get that jump start on the day? Those are good tips.
My question for you, as an elite level athlete, Christmas is gluttonous. Work parties. I've seen our little potluck that we're gonna do. The eggnog tastes good. Maybe the drinks are a little sweeter. Then you're having desserts and the big meals. For your athletes, for you, is there like a cheat day almost, or did you stay on that strict diet?
I did a bit of both. I
Mhm.
just told everybody I was on a seafood diet. I ate, and it was just whatever I was looking for. But I always had the staples of carbohydrates, vegetables, protein, that sort of thing. And I always had a couple fruit, always eating apples. So for me, it was that balance. But then I also know that if I didn't eat certain foods, I would get those crazy cravings, Doritos or a Diet Coke, or I'd eat a whole row of cookies.
Yeah.
And that's not always the good thing, but it was also listening to my body. And it's also celebrating. Go out and enjoy the food that's around you. You don't have to load up with 2 or 3 plates, but if you want a butter tart, or some of the dessert looks really good, and I've seen what you guys put out here,
Mhm.
is enjoy it. But think about moderation too.
Will Hawk beef jerky dropped off a lot of pepperoni and beef jerky. It's in the fridge. So on your way out,
Okay.
grab some because they gave us so much. It's amazing. Will Hawk beef jerky. Little plug
Definitely.
there for our friends. How about we talk a little bit about, kids, self-talk?
Mhm. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Self-talk can go either one way or the other. Typically, we'll think about maybe more negative stuff, because that's typically where, more people look at and talk about, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? And a lot of times is, yeah, we can only control what's in our control, but also we can turn it around. If something isn't going really great, what can we do to flip it over to the opposite side of, how could I do a little bit better? How could I help my team? And, with kids and sports coming out is, yes, you are an individual, but then there's still the we component, the we as a team. And some players may be higher level, more elite, and others may be more developing. And so for those development players is, what can we do so that we bring those players up as well? They may be a great feeder. They may be feeding the superstars or the faster players, the puck or the ball, that sort of thing. But it's also taking that energy, and you see the kids at the start of a game, they put their hands in the circle and they have their whatever the mantra is and their countdown, and it's just, can you keep that going? And it's just about always looking for the good in every situation.
A way to stay motivated as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. And when you do better, then it just seems to be more contagious and a little bit more automatic. So how can you keep looking for the good in the things that you're doing, or the good that's going around in the team?
Mm-hmm. Lorianne Munzer joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in for Gregor. He's going to join us in a couple minutes here. Did you happen to see his prediction last night with the Oilers?
Wasn't there something about 4 for McDavid?
4
there?
points. He had an Ekholm goal and the 6-3 Oilers win. He nailed them.
I know. It was
Talk about
like,
being in the zone.
did he have like the crystal ball there?
That's what I thought.
Is that what it was?
Maybe he had the script or whatever it may have been. But yeah, he was in the zone. Lorianne, thanks for doing this today. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That is Lorianne Munzer, Olympic gold medalist, author, always joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show Fridays, 2:40, 2:45, give or take. We did get a couple more coming in here. Jake with a $100 donation. So the pyramid of giving going to continue. Pyramid of giving for holiday hamper. $100 donations, $200 donations, $500 donations, and we're looking for. Well, we have 2 $1,000 donations, but if your company wants to donate $1,000, hey, we're not going to stop you. You get a tax receipt. It goes a long way, helps out a lot of people. So if you want to do that, you can text into 1-833-401-1440 or give us a call, 1-833-401-1440. Still to come on this show, we've got lots to get to. Craig Button from the NHL on TSN is going to join us, look around the NHL. We've got Speck, we've got Low Tide, we've got Paul Sir, Jared Dubin. But coming up next, we'll talk to Jason Gregor as well as Wanye Gretz. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook. But right now, let's get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. The Canada-wide clearance is on now at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation. See more at gmcoffers.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update news for the Edmonton Oilers is the Oilers have acquired forward Jacob Perreault from the Canadiens in exchange for defenseman Noel Hoffenmeyer. Per the team themselves, the Edmonton Elks have agreed to terms on a 3-year contract extension with Trey Ford. 6 games tonight in the NHL. It all gets going with 2 games at 5 p.m. Washington and Toronto and Seattle in New Jersey. In the NBA, 7 games on the schedule. Kicking off the action will be Orlando and Philly at 5. The 2 nationally televised games tonight, Milwaukee and Boston at 5:30 and Minnesota and Golden State at 8. The Oil Kings will play tomorrow in the Dub. They'll be in Medicine Hat to take on the Tigers, a 7 p.m. puck drop for that one. In the BCHL, Spruce Grove playing host to Okotoks tonight, a 7 p.m. puck drop out at Grand Fure. And Sherwood Park also in action, an 8 p.m. puck drop out in Penticton. Golden Bears tonight and tomorrow against Nate. The Drake tonight at 7, tomorrow a 7 p.m. puck drop as well. Jacob Trouba has been traded to the Anaheim Ducks per sources, and the Tampa Bay Rays are signing former Toronto Blue Jays catcher Danny Jansen to a 1-year, $8.5 million deal. I'm Declan Kruger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, Stingray radio station, broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Service team reporting. With the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment, we assess, service, and maintain your electrical lighting and automation systems.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Santa sweat, dripping on the tree, due to that new furnace that you got from Legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling wants to help you prepare for Santa. A nice warm stop during the cold night is the gift you give him. And Legacy can help with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your festive new furnace, because warm homes get better presents. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling. Everybody now, Santa sweat, this is really weird. Santa perspiration.
At Papa John's, better is our specialty. Try our butter chicken pizza. The meats, the works, garden fresh, and more. Each special in its own way, just like you. With that ooey, gooey, crispy, crunchy taste, fresh, never frozen dough, and quality topping. Special has never tasted better. And so, for a limited time, get any large specialty pizza for just $17.99 with promo code LG1799 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Better get you some Papa John's.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Ain't it beautiful?
What does excellence mean to you, and how does it impact your decisions? Friends, it's Carrie Dahl, and I know that at Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't an option, it's their everything. From customer satisfaction in sales, service, inventory, and retention, they excel in all. Congratulations, Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners.
Volvo of Edmonton.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta, new players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet every week all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $10,104 off select 2024 Sierra 2500 AT4 models. Make loading easier than ever with the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Make hauling easier than ever with up to 14 available camera views, including transparent trailer view. And make finding tunes easier than ever with a class-leading 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen. Yeah, let's get to work. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
What would it sound like if Alberta breathed a collective sigh of relief? Maybe like, or a little like, we're about to find out. Because Alberta drivers are finally getting some relief on car insurance. Learn how the new Care First model is bringing you more benefits, faster care, and lower cost premiums at alberta.ca/care-first. That's better. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
At 3 o'clock, welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube. Connor Halley sitting in with you. Declan Kruger here as well. Kate the Great on the digital side. The Jason Gregor Show is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca tonight. Lotto Max worth $33 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. The text line, 1-833-401-1440. Lots rolling in here. Do want to let you know, though, some more donations. The month of giving rolls on, and every Friday, you know, we do the Pyramid of Giving. Shelly, Manny, Alex, Ron, Earl, James, Randy, great donations. We just had Eric come in with a $200 donation and Jay with a $500 donation. And of course, when we get there, because I do believe that we are going to get there to $7,500, GS Construction going to donate $7,500 to match. So that'll be $15,000. We need 9 more $100 donations. We need 7 more $200 donations and 2 more $500 donations. So if you want to get those in, 1-833-401-1440. You get a tax receipt. You can also call Declan at that same number. So let's get that going. Let's ramp it up here. We got lots of time, but let's get that done sooner than later. Right now, we are going to bring in the host of this show, typically Jason Gregor. Jason, how you doing today?
I'm good, Cons. I'm in the wonderful metropolis of Bassano, which I've never been before, on my way to Brooks.
Anything standing out there?
Well, I'm just driving by, but we actually did stop for lunch at Three Hills and had ridiculously like small town little cafe, and it was amazing. They had it's like I was in Alice because they've got the old school chits. Everything's handwritten to write you out your bill and everything. Oh, it was very, very good.
No, not too bad. Jason, before we get to all the news going on today, did you have the script last night? 3 for 3 on your game day predictions. You had the Ekholm goal. You had McDavid 4 points in a 6-3 final. Pretty interesting that you knew that with such ease.
Well, every now and then, blind squirrel finds an acorn. So, I mean, we have fun with those all the time, and sometimes you get lucky and you bang it out. Everyone reminds you when you're wrong, so you might as well talk about it when you're right, because you don't get the same. But yeah, that was a guy. Actually, I've received a few texts from people. Are you kidding me? So that was kind of funny, actually. So no, it was good. It would have been perfect had Echo scored on even strength instead of the power play, but I'll still take it.
Yeah. I think the Oilers penalty kill second unit especially will take it as well. The Oilers taking on the St. Louis Blues tomorrow night, 8:00 puck drop down at Rogers Place. The return of Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg. What do you think the reception is going to be like for those two?
I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, to be honest. They haven't been here. They weren't here that long, and so there's no reason to really look and say, Phil Broberg, I can't believe you took $9.2 million. Like, I don't think anyone would have ill will towards him. And similar to Holloway, they'll probably get maybe a little bit of a Bronx cheer early, and then after that, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Are they going to get booed every time they touch the puck? If they do, great. Like, it's add some atmosphere to the game. But I'm not sure it'll reach that level or not. Usually, kind of like the best players are the ones that get a really good round of applause. And then there's some boos after, and that's out of respect almost. Where it's like, okay, now you're not on the team I cheer for, so that's how we have to respond to you. But I don't know if it's going to be anything over the top. I'd be surprised if it was. But if fans want to boo them when they touch the puck, I don't really have an issue with that. To me, that just adds a little sound into the building, makes the game more fun.
I'm here for it. Shout out to Lauren coming in with a $200 donation to the holiday hamper. Keep those rolling in here. Jason, I don't know if you saw the trade earlier today. I guess it's been coming for a while. The New York Rangers moving on from captain Jacob Trouba, sending him to the Anaheim Ducks. In return, Urho Vakanainen and a 2025 fourth-round pick, no salary retained. Why do the Ducks make this move?
Oh, I think the Ducks make the move because they've got enough young players. Like, what are they just supposed to keep training and getting more young players? At some point, you need veteran NHLers. They don't have any cap problems. So, and none of their young guys are. By the time Leo Carlson and those other guys are going to do raises, well, Trouba's contract's over. So I love this move for Anaheim, to be honest. I love it. Like, the Rangers, obviously, they free up some money, but they don't get any better, right? And they're supposed to be a playoff-bound team. So unless there was, Trouba and the head coach are on the same page, or Trouba and his teammates aren't on the same page, this seems like an odd one. Like, they're just like, okay, we freed up some money. Okay, great. Now in order to get some money in, you're still going to have to give up other assets to fill that spot. So we'll see. Trouba is going to go to a place where I think they're really going to rely on him to be a leader. And I'll tell you right now, Pat Verbeek, physical player, the little ball of hate. Trouba's going to fit in. He wants their team to be tough, and Trouba's going to bring that. So anybody in the Western Conference, the Trouba train is now coming in the West, and so you got to have your head up because there's not many guys who hit like him. So I actually really like this trade for Anaheim. Like, you can't continually be in rebuild mode and just think all the young guys are you need a veteran player who can play the game, and he's not worth $8 million. I don't care, because it doesn't matter. He doesn't need to be an $8 million player for them and where they're at on their stage right now. He just needs to come in and kind of help them become more professional players on a daily basis. No one really ever questioned Trouba's work ethic, his ability to show up. He's not going to put up big points as an $8 million guy, but he'll probably get even more ice time in Anaheim. So I think this is probably a win-win for them. Now, the Rangers, it's okay you have cap space. What do you do with your cap space? Cap space is only valuable if you maximize it. So today, the Rangers lost the deal. If in the future they use that cap space to their advantage, well, then the trade becomes better.
Yeah, I mean, Trouba and Radko Gudas, watch out. The Ducks maybe bring that physicality back that we're used to seeing from them. And now, what about Chris Kreider? Do you think the Rangers still look to move him out, or do you think they're done?
Good question. If they really don't want those guys, they're like, Kreider's an older player, but Kreider's contract isn't that bad, and he can still skate. Like, Kreider has always been a great skater. So it'll be interesting to see, if they do. If they do, then obviously they felt like they needed a real big change in their leadership core, right? And they felt like their leadership core, for whatever reason, wasn't getting it done. I would think Kreider might be a little bit easier place, or maybe some more contending teams might be interested in him, just because cap hit and everything else. So it will be interesting to see what the Rangers do. But like right now, today, are they any better than they were yesterday due to this trade? I don't think so.
Jason Gregor joining us on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Not a surprise for those who listened to the Jason Gregor Show yesterday in the 5:35, 5:40-ish segment. As Ed Hervey said, he was very confident that a deal would get done with Trey Ford. Now it's done. 3-year extension with Trey Ford. Not a surprise at all. Hey, Gregor?
3 years, good for them.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's a commitment for both sides. You don't see that very often, and I think that shows the direction of the organization in the CFL. You want to have some continuity amongst your best players for your fans to really rally around them and know that, hey, if you ever want to buy a Trey Ford jersey, he's here for at least 3 years. And, he'll probably re-sign an extension after that. If things go well, there's no reason not to. And, I think that's great. I'm sure the numbers haven't come out, but I won't be surprised if the first year of his deal has a bunch of escalators in it. Similar to Mike Riley's first year when he came over, right? Like, I don't think Trey Ford is going to get $500,000 right now. I could easily see it being $275 plus escalators, where at the end of the year, he could, if he plays well, he'll end up making $400,000, right? You can do that. The CFL is a little bit different. It's not like the NHL. When you sign it, your AAV has to be the exact same every year. So there's a little bit more maneuvering that you can do. The structuring is different. So I love this deal for Edmonton. I actually didn't know that. So that's great.
Yeah, I just broke within the last hour here. So Elks fans, go get that number 2 jersey. He's going to be around for a little while. What do you think is going to be the biggest difference from a Chris Jones-led team to a Ed Hervey-led team?
Good question. A few things. There'll be some, like Ed as on the show, he's not going to pay huge dollars for receivers. And he was a receiver. I think he understands, the great receivers are really good, don't get me wrong, but the gap to find one to pay $150 or pay the guy like $300, you can fill out your roster a lot better. So I think there'll be a real big emphasis on the D-line and the O-line. Like Chris Jones kind of gutted the D-line on this team, right? Drake Seresna gone for nothing. And, shouldn't say for nothing, trade him for a receiver, right? So I think that trade in itself, I think, illustrates what the difference is going to be. It's not that Ed Hervey doesn't value receivers. Obviously, he played with some great ones. He was a pretty good one himself, and he'll want to get good receivers. Like, they had good receivers on that team when they won in 2015. They're just not going to be the highest paid receivers in the league.
Gregor, before we let you go here, it is the Pyramid of Giving for the Holiday Hamper. I know this is a charity you've supported for a long time. Maybe just talk about why it means so much to you and the good they do in the city here.
Well, my first introduction to the Holiday Hamper was, probably 15. It was well before I had kids. Me and my buddy Scotty, we're young guys, single, and so we decided, hey, you know what? He had told me about it. I said, okay, sure, let's do it. So we sponsored a family, went out, delivered the gifts and everything, and it really kind of resonated with me at that point. And I said, you know what? We'll keep doing that. And so now my family does it, and we go do our shopping here next week. And I think it's a good thing to teach my son kind of, how to help others. I think that's very important. And what they do just to give the joy of Christmas to people. And, I don't know any young kid, everybody out there, I don't care how old you are, you get a gift under the tree now. And, if it's a gift that you really like, there's just something about it. And so to be able to do that for a family and give them that opportunity is important. And, Chris and the whole gang at the Holiday Hamper, I think it's important for everybody to know, that's 100% volunteers, right? Like their admin fees are virtually nothing. I think that's hugely important. So all your donation is going directly for them to buy the food, the turkeys and everything for all these families. Their demand keeps going up. So, $100 goes a long way, right? $200. I hear the $1,000 ones are both filled. That's unreal. Although if somebody else wants to do another one, fire off. That'd be great. But, the more we raise for the Holiday Hamper, the better it is. So, get in 100, 200, 500. It's fantastic. You get a tax receipt. And if you don't want to do that, but you want the experience, I know they're still looking for a few elves. So you can go to Holiday Hamper website and sign up, you and yourself or your buddies or your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, whoever, your family. And trust me, it's a really good, it's almost like a gift to yourself in a way, because it reminds you of what Christmas is supposed to be about. Giving is a lot better than receiving at times, and you feel better, and you kind of go through spend the hours together shopping at the grocery store and, getting a small little gift. It's kind of the whole experience that makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, it's something my wife and I've got a chance to do. It's really cool. Yeah, and we'll keep that going. We'll keep that momentum rolling here. The spots are filling up very quickly. Like you said, $2,000 donations already, but we can take more. Also, Gregor, how about this? So the Rangers, Igor Shesterkin, agreeing to a contract extension, 8 years between 11.5 and 12 mil. That's per Emily Kaplan and Kevin Weeks.
Wow, 11.5 for Shesterkin. Well, he wanted to increase the bar of goaltenders, and he got it. And obviously Trouba's contract, was $8 million next year. So I guess there's a little bit of a tie in there for next season for this deal. So hey, Shesterkin's pretty good goaltender. There's no question about it. So, but like I've always said, if your goalie always has to rely on the defense in front of him, do they get? Because no one ever says, "Geez, Connor McDavid's got to have a winger to score 120 points." Right. So that to me is my only argument on paying goaltenders as much money. People say they should get as much as the star player. Well, it's just not the same in the regular season. They don't play every game. And if you, quote, have a bad defensive system and then your goalie gives up too many goals, it's like, well, the system isn't good. Well, if the goalie's as great as everybody says he is, maybe you should make a few more saves.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you gone all weekend for a tourney?
We are in Brooks, yes. We will be back. Well, it depends on how we do. Sometimes Sunday, I guess the later means the better we did. So we'll see how it goes. It's quite the trek to Brooks, I'll be honest, Cons. When I signed up, I didn't know it was this far. So we're almost there, though. So that's nice.
Well, have fun. I'm sure you and the parents will have a good time. The kids will play some mini sticks, and hopefully you guys bring home the gold.
That'll be fun as long as, the boys are good. We already have the team post-meal plan. So that's probably the most important part. And hopefully a little pool time tomorrow.
Got a water slide there?
Oh, yeah, of course, buddy. That's pretty much it. Buddy, you get fired. You think there's ways to get fired as an NHL coach. There's ways to get fired as a minor hockey coach and manager. Is if you book a hotel without a water slide, that's a fail.
That's it. That is it. Jason, thanks for doing this. Safe travels and good luck.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for filling in. Thanks for everybody for helping out in the month of giving.
Absolutely. There you go. Jason Gregor, the host of the Jason Gregor Show on the road. JCD says, is JG a guest on his own show? Yes, absolutely. My name is Connor Halley. I'm sitting in. We got Declan Kruger here. Kate the Great. Wanye Gretz is sitting right outside the studio, just lingering. He's got a coffee and a club soda, and he's been waiting there for about 15 minutes. He'll join us next. We'll talk some NFL, some NBA, some hockey. We got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning at the 4 o'clock hour. Also, Spec Low Tide. Absolutely loaded show. And it is the Pyramid of Giving, raising money for the holiday hamper. Manny. Shout out to Manny. He said, Chris called him. Nice guy. I threw in another 100. So now Manny has 2 of the $100 spots. So we're 7-8 away. We got about 6 more spots, 7 more spots when it comes to the $200 donations, 2 more $500 donations. 1,000 spots have been filled, but we'll take another if you want to do that. You get a tax receipt, so that's always a nice little perk, but that's not what it's all about. It's about helping people in need during the holiday season. Well, so let's keep that rolling. Once we get to 7,500, we will officially have GS Construction kick in their 7,500, putting our total at 15,000. And that'll be an awesome start to the weekend. It is our first Pyramid of Giving here on the Jason Gregor Show. We do it every Friday leading up to the big day. Coming up next, though, we'll bring in our good friend Wanye Gretz, and we'll talk some NFL football with Jared Dubin from CBS Sports. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical mess? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.com.
Oil Kings Hockey at Rogers Place. Family fun that's second to none, starting at just $20 a seat.
This Family Fun Sunday in Ice District, kids take over as your Edmonton Oil Kings face off with the Regina Pats.
With face painting, a kids' fun zone before puck drop. Then kids will be taking over some of the biggest roles needed to run an Oil Kings game.
And at every home game, score Calmont Kids food combos for $10 or less. The value is king-sized.
Edmonton Oil Kings, Regina Pats, Sunday afternoon at 4.
Great family entertainment at Rogers Place starts at just $20 a seat. Save on day of game pricing now at oilkings.ca.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you are a student athlete interested in growing as both a person and a hockey player, visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.ca to register for a free shadow day. Beginner or an experienced player, these programs are designed to nurture and develop your skills in a positive and supportive environment. Vimy and Donnan help student athletes pursue their passion for hockey while achieving their academic goals. Register for a Vimy and Donnan Hockey Shadow Day today.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNuggets, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
Now for today's holiday special, Legacy Heating and Cooling saves Christmas. Santa's furnace broke down in the shop last night, and the elves couldn't make any toys. That's right, because the HR lady said it's in humane conditions. But ho, 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 golly gee, Santa got a 1-year guarantee, and the elves are working merrily with a brand new furnace from Legacy. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A mullet for Marvin, a bowl cut for Barry, a pompadour for Peter, who's now really quite hairy. After this Christmas, all the men wish they could get some hair restoration from Dr. Vance Elliott.
Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. While you're Christmas shopping, consider giving yourself the greatest gift of all, a full natural head of hair. I know the results will be life-changing. Want to make this the year you get your mojo back? Book a free first consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you here from the eWell studio in West Edmonton Mall. With a real power place to shop at ewell.ca for all your electrical needs online 24/7. ewell.ca is your partner in power. Manny, who did an extra $100 donation, said, I got to challenge your mom to do 100. And she said, maybe. She's retired. She doesn't know she can afford it. So, Manny, I threw it out there. We'll see if she does it. But good news, we had Robert call in during the break. $200 donation to the pyramid of giving that's going to the holiday hamper. So we need like 7 more $100 donations, 6 more $200 donations, and 2 more $500 donations. So we're well on our way. We're not even halfway through the show. But if you're thinking about doing it, just do it. What did Shia LaBeouf say in that viral video? Do it. Do it. Wanye, you're in the studio now. What did he say?
Do it.
Just do it. Nike said it. I said it. We've said it. Let's raise some money.
If you don't do it now, when will you do it?
Exactly. Maybe another hour.
Do it.
We'll just push your buttons and try to get you to do it. Yes, in case you missed it, though. Lots of things going on. The New York Rangers signing Shesterkin, 8 years, between $11 and $12 million. They send Trouba to Anaheim. The Oilers made a trade, bringing in Jacob Perreault, former first-round pick of the Anaheim Ducks. Struggling to find his NHL footprint. Played 1 game, was a -1.
Who'd we give up?
We gave up Noel Hoffenmeyer. So it's that's the game, right? You win some, you lose some. You got to make these moves. It was a subtle trade, kind of the AHL level
subtle
trade. Yeah.
Trouba to the Ducks is surprising.
Trouba to the Ducks.
I'm shocked by this.
They got money to spend. The Rangers obviously needed to clear some space and wanted to make this move for a while. So
who they get back?
Urho Vakanainen and a draft pick in 2025.
If you say so.
That's it. Right now, we're going to get to our football report. And there's lots going on here. Lots going on in the world of the NFL. Great game last night. The football report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. Need service late at night or on weekends. You don't need overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. We bring in Jared Dubin from CBS Sports, covers the NFL. And Jared, last night, I think, it's just Motor City Dan Campbell further establishing his mindset, his mantra for this team, going forward on 4th and short when you could have kicked a field goal just to leave no doubt.
Yeah, that's what he does, and I think people somewhat misunderstand why he does it, and they think that it's all about analytics and the analytics play. But he does it because that's the personality of the football team. He's talked about that before. And if you look at last night, I saw a bunch of the 4th down models out there that were pretty much all universally recommending a field goal there. And Dan Campbell went for it anyway because they built their team around that offensive line. They built it around being bigger and tougher and stronger than everybody else. And they had an opportunity to end the game right there by gaining, less than a yard, essentially, rather than saying, we're going to leave it up to our defense, which started the game pretty well, but had started leaking over the last, quarter and a half or so, and has about 1 million guys injured. And if they got one more guy injured, you or I might have been out there last night. And he decided to lean on the strength of the team. That's what they're always going to do. They did it in the NFC Championship game last year, and Campbell got blasted for it when, they had been like the best 4th down team in the league. They had converted on those, 4th and 3 or less opportunities, something like 65, 70% of the time. And it just didn't work out all in one day. But you see over the course of a season, over the course of most games, they went for it 5 times last night and got it on 4 of them. And I believe all 4 of those drives turned into points. 3 of them turned into touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, if you properly execute on 4th down, obviously it's going to drastically improve your chance to winning. I go back a couple of weeks when the Ravens, I think, were 3 for 3 against the Chargers on primetime. That's why they won that football game, executing on those crucial moments. Just sticking with the NFC right now. And, the Lions, 12-1 on the season, 11-game winning streak. They've been great. The Philadelphia Eagles on a winning streak of their own, 10-2. And then it kind of drops off outside of the NFC North. The Vikings 10-2, the Packers 9-4 showed how close they can be to hanging around with that top dog in the Detroit Lions. Outside of the Lions and Eagles, though, is there anyone else you think could contend to maybe make it into that game when we get to the NFC Championship?
I think that those are, the 2 main teams, and I would say the Vikings are next just because of how much their defense can mess with an opposing offense. What Brian Flores has been doing throughout this season and the way they played for the most part this year. There have been a couple games here and there, a couple stretches of, during a specific game here or there where they've, been able to get beat. But I mean, the Lions and Eagles look like pretty clearly the most complete teams on both sides of the ball. And then just what the Vikings are able to do defensively, they make me think that they're probably the 3rd team in that mix. And then I think you'd have to go with the Packers. And I don't feel all that good about, Washington or, any of the teams from the NFC South or the NFC West.
We are joined by Jared Dubin here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Jared covers the NFL with CBS. Yeah, I mean, it certainly is interesting and, fun to see. The Minnesota Vikings have been one of my favorite storylines this year. Obviously, when J.J. McCarthy goes down, some questions, what can Sam Darnold do? Obviously, we're seeing that his time in New York wasn't really indicative of what he can do. He spent some time in San Francisco, obviously learned a few things, going to Minnesota, maybe a quarterback-friendly system, playing with some studs, and it's worked out. It has been a lot of fun. What do you make of those other 2 divisions? Right now, we got the Seattle Seahawks in the West leading the way at 7-5, and the Atlanta Falcons in the South 6-6. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers right on their heels. Who do you think comes out of those 2 divisions?
It's really hard to feel good about anybody in the NFC West, honestly. Like Seattle coming into this season, there were questions about the defense, and we were thinking that the offense was going to be really good. But lately, the offensive line has been so bad that it's kind of undermining the entire operation, and the defense has gotten better. So they're basically the opposite of what we thought of them as coming into the year. Arizona, that offense, like week to week, you never really know what you're going to get from them. Same thing with the defense. They're just so inconsistent. It never seems like they are, putting together a full game on both sides of the ball. The Rams, they have the talent, particularly on offense. Whenever they have Matthew Stafford Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp all on the field, their offense can hum at a level that, can match almost anybody. But they've also lost some games that it's just like, why are you not winning that game? Like that game they had against the Dolphins a few weeks ago. Like, why are you losing that game to that team? And it just sort of doesn't make sense. The 49ers, they sort of seem like the team that was kind of snake bit throughout this entire year, not just with injuries, but what they've had to go through off the field. And I like just imagining what it's like to have two players on your team that lost children during the season, and then another one that got shot right before the season. Like that would throw off anybody's gear. And in addition to all that, they've had about 1 million guys get hurt, including, some of their most important players for different times of the year. So it's hard to feel really good about them. And the NFC South, I mean, it's hard to feel good about the Falcons right now, given the way that offense looks the last couple of weeks, especially given that the offense is supposed to be the better unit on the team. So I feel like I'm kind of leaning towards the Bucs, even though, they might be nearly as injured as the 49ers.
I will say, full disclosure, I am a Chargers fan, and I could not believe Kirk Cousins. We've seen good Kirk Cousins, we've seen bad. That might have been some of the worst because some of the throws he was making were absolutely awful. Now, let's go over to the AFC and a very competitive division or spot, I guess, seeding-wise, when you got the Chargers, the Ravens, the Broncos, and the Texans all fighting for their spots. The Chiefs, I think they'll hold it down in their division. Bills as well. Steelers going to have to hold off the Ravens. But who do you like as maybe kind of the surprising teams to come out of the AFC? Because there are some good candidates.
I don't know that you would necessarily consider them a surprise, but like the one from the bottom half of the bracket that sticks out to me is the Ravens, just because Lamar Jackson is playing as well as anybody in football this year. And when you have a player that's playing that well, then you can go on a run. Like if he maintains the level that he's played at throughout this season, as long as the defense doesn't do what it's done a couple times this year and sort of completely self-destruct, then yeah, they can go on a run from the bottom half of that bracket.
Looking at the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. I mean, we haven't seen him play this good of football. I don't know, maybe since the Super Bowl run. Defensively, they just aren't getting the job done. T. Higgins likely to move in the offseason unless the Bengals do want to pay him. What does this team have to do to get back on track in a very competitive division?
Completely remake the personnel on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they've been, in fairness, trying to do that over the last few years. Just all of the things that they've tried have, not worked. Like they've tried to add depth along the defensive line. They drafted Miles Murphy in the first round. They brought in a couple guys in the draft this year on the defensive interior. They've tried to add guys in the back seven. They drafted Dax Hill. They drafted a couple other guys in the secondary, and it just hasn't really worked out. And then you add that with, guys getting older. Mike Hilton's not the same player that he was. Jermaine Pratt's not the same player that he was. The only guy that's still playing at the same level that he was a few years ago on that defense for the most part is Trey Hendrickson, who is still, a pretty incredible player, but everybody else has fallen off. And the rest of the guys that they brought in as replacements that were supposed to be sort of the next generation of guys that stepped in, for the most part, haven't really worked out as well as they wanted them to.
Jared Dubin of CBS Sports joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, talking a little NFL. Connor Halley sitting in. Kansas City Chiefs, obviously still winning football games, but as we watch them in our studio week to week, it's almost like black voodoo magic. Well, how are they finding ways to win games? Is this the year you think they can be toppled in the AFC?
That they can be, sure. That they will be, I'm never really going to bet on that. I'm just going to say, until somebody actually does it, I'm going to roll with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Safe bet. And just one final question for you before I let you go here. Bill Belichick interviewing with North Carolina at the collegiate level. From what we hear, not opposed to coaching potentially at the college level, but still, I believe 26 games away from the all-time win mark as a NFL head coach. Do you think we could realistically see him coaching in college?
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally know him or anything, so I can't say whether he would or wouldn't, but it would be pretty surprising to me, given how far removed is Bill Belichick really going to want to go schmooze a car dealer in North Carolina to get money for an NIL fund? That doesn't seem like the kind of thing that he would want to do. Is he really going to want to put up with 18-year-olds who are making millions to be there for maybe a year or two and then decide they want to transfer out? That doesn't seem like the kind of thing Belichick would want to put up with either. So it's really difficult for me to see that actually happening, but stranger things have happened, I suppose.
It'd be something. Well, Jared, thanks so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. Happy holidays, and hopefully we can get you on again down the road.
Thanks for having me. Sounds great. Have a good night.
You too. There you go. Jared Dubin, CBS Sports, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. As we were doing that, I should say, that is the NFL report brought to you by Lakes Heating and Cooling. Got a DM on Twitter from Don Ellis. He's going to join us for a $500 donation, guys. So Don E for $500. We need one more. Wanye, you got any cash lying around?
Connor. Filled with Wilhock beef jerky.
Oh, my
Can't be
goodness.
making these financial commitments. I'm not in my right mind.
That drop off today.
Unbelievable.
Massive. The people here at Stingray are starting to warm up to us because we bring them beef jerky every once in a while.
It's the best.
Yeah. Only in Leduc. Go get yours. So if you want to make a donation, we're down to, I think Jay came in with another $100 donation. Shout out Jay. We have 8 more $100 donations. We have 6 more $200 donations and 1 more $500 donation. So, big ones are taken care of. If you want to donate more, we're happy to take it. We'll take it all day. But we still need a handful of $100 donations to come in here. You can text Declan or call him 1-833-401-1440. We get to 7,500. GS Construction, Turan and the group going to put in 7,500. All of a sudden, we're up to 15,000, which would be a pretty good day here. 1-833-401-1440. I had mentioned, Wanye, that you were hanging outside the studio sipping a club soda and a coffee. Randy said, good grief, that's wildly random to be sipping on in the afternoon.
What are you talking about? I was thirsty, soda water, but I also have a very young child, thus a constant need for coffee.
It was only the club soda or soda water that was brought up, but a lot of people like that.
I don't know, you can't just drink coffee or you're going to get dehydrated.
It's true.
And I don't want to drink like pops. I try to drink soda water. Trying to live a long life. You'll see. I'll be here when I'm 96, right here
on Sports 1440. Sean says, "Holy crap! The parents in Gregor and Carius are out of town now that Grandpa Lowtide is done babysitting. When are you guys throwing the party? Grab some Bubba Gumps and I'll bring the keg."
See, now we're talking. Get some Bubba Gumps. That'd be the Christmas treat for everybody.
Man, we had our Christmas party there last year.
Not a Bubba Gumps.
We did. It was only me and Brandon. Nobody else wanted to come. Their loss.
That's a sad holiday party. Not that you guys are sad.
Didn't you guys go at like 12:20 on a Thursday or something?
It was like 6:05.
Okay, all right.
You
bad.
had a party.
Okay.
I think you had like a real party to go to, and
I can see the holiday tree in Bubba Gumps from my seat here in the Ewell studio.
Are you a real tree guy?
Well, I appreciate them, but I'm going to roll it a Faco.
I bought a real one.
Yeah.
First time because we were in a condo before. Can't have real trees.
Is that true?
Fire hazard.
Oh,
yeah.
come on.
Yeah. So I went and bought one from the old superstore. It was like $60. It's not great, but it smells so good and it looks so good with the lights on it. So shout out to the real trees.
Life hack. If you just go up to any old pine tree in town with a saw and a determined Christmas song in your heart, any tree can be a free Christmas tree.
That is true. And there's a little danger in it.
Yeah. I go at 4 a.m.
Lauren, who donated $200, says, "You guys are doing excellent in raising the funds." Thank you, Lauren. We're trying. We want to keep that going here. Lots of $100 spots open. Lots of $200 spots open. And one more $500 spot. 2,000 spots. 2 $1,000 spots have been taken up. Randy, Sean, shout out to you guys. Scott just texting in now. I'll do a $200 donation. So now we only need 5 more. You guys are awesome.
Can I just say in defense of myself that I will make my donation for the month of giving when Gregor strong arms me the old fashioned way, when he stares at me on the closest one to Christmas and then gives me the strong arm. You don't scare me, sir.
No, I don't have that.
I was able to weasel away like the common weasel, but when Gregor has me in his crosshairs, I know I'll have to give.
I know we're going to get you.
I gave last year.
How much?
I don't remember.
Did you ever watch Entourage?
Yeah.
You know when Matt Damon is trying to get them to donate to help kids in Africa?
No.
And they're like, he's like, how much did you donate? And like double it. That's what I wanted to do to you.
Dang.
Johnny Drama drops the epic line. Sorry, bro. He Jason Bourned me. Like, great show. We need more Entourage. Neighborhood Plumber, you guys are doing a great job filling in. How/where do I send this money? It's from Jay. He already did $100. If you do donate, we have your phone number. Holiday Hamper is going to call you. They're beautiful people. We had Chris on the show earlier. I don't want to say convinced, but after he spoke with Manny donated another $100. So I don't say he's upselling you, but he's just a really good, charming guy doing a great job. and Manny wanted to do more. Caffeinated Ed, who was once Honest Ed in our tech line, says, hey, Wanye, fun fact. Any decent coffee shops will always serve as espresso a small glass of soda water.
Is that? I did not know that.
There you go.
Well, now we're learning. Caffeinated Ed.
Ed knows.
Ed
He's
knows.
caffeinated. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some hoops with Paul Sir, the host of the basketball show, still to come. We've got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We've got Craig Button, Mark Spector, Alan Mitchell, an absolutely loaded Positive Friday here on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
For Selly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy cone hose pips. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
Didn't get a holiday bonus? At Wolf GMC Buick, we have the bonus you need. Get 0% financing on our most popular trucks like the Sierra Half-Ton Crew Cab during GMC's Canada-wide clearance. Or select up to $8,500 on a number of Sierras. If you're looking for heavy duty, we have that too. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra HDs, Yukons, and the all-new GMC Hummer EV. And seeing it's the holidays, a $500 bonus on select 2024 and 2025 models. But when the holidays are done, so are these deals. Get to Wolf GMC Buick today.
Black Friday continues at the Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe in the wisdom of Patch Adams. Treat a disease, you win, you lose. Treat a person, I guarantee you'll win no matter what the outcome. We don't treat conditions, we treat people. From personalized treatment plans to compassionate care, we're committed to helping you achieve your goal. That's why hands-on techniques, unique technologies, and a commitment to hiring amazing people mixed with friendly, fun neighborhood environments. And ta-da! No, it's not magic. It's about being human. Sometimes being human hurts, but life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Introducing the Female Super League. Female hockey is on the rise with more women playing the game than ever. Join us as we pave the way for the future of women's hockey. The FSL is more than a game. It's a movement and an experience for the motivated female athlete. Teams will compete in a showcase-style format featuring consistent interprovincial competition. Come be part of the journey as the 2024-25 season unveils a 12U division, as well as the launch of a groundbreaking progressive body-checking 14U division. For more information, visit FemaleSuperLeague.com.
At Pizza 73, we know that hunger happens. 1 minute you're wrapping presents, untangling Christmas lights, and thinking of a new place to put that elf. And next you're eating a box of candy canes because you've never been this hungry in your life. That's why we made the Pizza 73 Holiday Helper Deal. You get 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas, and 4 pieces of cheesecake for just $25.49. The Pizza 73 Holiday Helper, because hunger happens.
Pizza 73.
Worried about your debt but don't know how to deal with it? My name is Parveen Middleton, and I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I talk with people about debt every day, and I understand how stressful your situation can be. During a free consultation, I can show you how to lower your payment and become debt-free. I can offer you immediate relief from that overwhelming stress. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Get your power play amped up with eWell, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. eWell.ca, your partner in power.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Kate the Great with you here from the eWell Studios in West Edmonton Mall. We're doing pretty good here. We're pretty good. We've got one more opening in the $500 bracket. Don came in, so that puts us one away. None left at the 1,000 spots. But hey, if you want to donate to $1,000, who are we to stop you? We've got 5 more openings in the $200 bracket and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots at the $100 denomination. So if you'd like to make a donation to our Holiday Hamper Pyramid of Giving, you can do so. Text into 1-833-401-1440. You can call that same number, talk to Declan, make your donation. The Holiday Hamper people will call you. It's that easy. And you might even, after talking to them, want to donate more. It's not unheard of. It has happened before. You can do so. Wanye, going to make a donation later.
Yeah, when Jason Gregor returns, who I'm scared of genuinely, in the name of fear, I will make a holiday donation.
Which is fair. It is fair.
Fear-driven.
Right now, why don't we get to our big guest of the day? Because he's a big man. Paul Sir, host of the Basketball Show. Big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. They host Okotoks tonight at the Grant Fuhr Arena. Get your tickets, and if you can't make the game, you can still support them at saints5050.com. Paul, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Doing great, Connor. Thanks for having me on.
Glad to have you. Our first question comes from Declan Kruger. He says, if we were playing a game of pickup basketball with all the Sports 1440 members, you're a captain and Eddie Steele is a captain, who would be your first overall pick?
Oh my gosh. The difficulty here is just the wealth of talent. It's one of those drafts that's so deep and so rich. I'm just so reluctant. And I'm going to share the sentiment of your previous voice, and that is I'm taking Jason Gregor because I'm genuinely scared of him.
Okay.
So I just out of fear, I would take Jason. I have no idea if he can play or not. I just know how mean he is. So I'm taking him.
He's driven. That could be a good pick. Now, Declan played high school hoops. So I think he was trying to get you to lean that way potentially.
I understand, Declan, but
and college, he says.
And college. I know you're a good player, but I'm not scared of you. So I've got to go with the fear factor here.
See, I thought you might go like Strudwick or something because he's on the show weekly.
I know, but Struds, he's just because he played in the NCAA for 22 years and he's 6'5" and he's tough as hell. There's just something. There's an intangible in Jason that just transcends even what Struds brings to the table, or with Declan's depth of playing experience. I'm going to stick with my pick.
Yeah, and I don't think Struddy can dunk anymore. So maybe he's pretty confident. I think he actually thought he could do it pretty good in a shooting contest against Steve, your son, who is, by my math, the greatest three-point shooter in NCAA history.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Struds has a better chance of dunking than that. Not that I give either much of a chance, but the shootout, one shot blindfolded, maybe. If each player got one, maybe, but even then, Struds doesn't have a chance. So.
Stu says Struds pants are too tight. Might be tough. Paul, last week on this show, we talked to you about some of the Canadians out there playing at the NCAA level, and you said you do a dive into some names to watch out for. It's early, but we know by March, everyone's an NCAA expert. So who are some players to watch out for when it comes to the Canadians?
Well, the name that jumps out right now that seems to have early in the season, the most legitimate shot at being a lottery pick is a player named Will Riley from BC, plays for Illinois in the Big Ten. Will, 6'7" wing, really long, very, very good player. And as he's going to be playing incredibly tough competition all year, Connor. So toughening him up, giving him a chance to play against all styles of defense in probably the most physical conference in the U.S. Will Riley is the early favorite. Xavier Lee from Princeton is also a player who's putting up incredible numbers early in the season. And he's a guard, really, really quick, can shoot the three, put it on the deck, get to the rim. He also is a player that a lot of scouts have their eyes on. But get this, there are 171 Canadian men playing NCAA Division I basketball, not, throw in all the other divisions. Hundreds and hundreds of Canadians are going south. And also approximately 149 women are playing as well in Division I from Canada. And here's the thing, Connor, that's the new trend. It used to be, prior to the NIL money and the transfer portal becoming the way business is now conducted in the NCAA, and for our listeners who don't know what that refers to, is the transfer portal. It used to be really hard to transfer from one school to the next. There were lots of restrictions, and at the very least, you had to sit out for a full season when you transferred schools. Now you can transfer every year if you want, and a lot of players do. A lot of players will end their careers playing for 4 or 5 colleges and universities. But now the trend we're seeing are youth sports players going south in the middle of their careers, where it used to be the other way. Canadians would go south, have a miserable experience because of the tough transfer rules. They just came back to Canada to finish their careers. Not going that way anymore. We're seeing very few Canadian players coming back. Last year, there were only 3. The year before, there were 10. And before that, there were more. So we're actually seeing a bigger talent drain going south of the border than we've ever seen before.
Now, we talk a little bit about the men there. You mentioned the women. How about Delaney Gibb, the Albertan freshman from Raymond, with BYU, 7-2 on the season, averaging 16 points a game, 5 boards, 4 assists, shooting 44%. I don't have these memorized. I am rating them off her stats page, Paul. I don't want you to think I, lock those things
I'm
down.
impressed regardless. I don't care where it comes from. You don't have to play your hand.
But we talked about her about a year ago, I think, when she had committed to BYU, obviously having no problems translating to the NCAA game.
No, she's not. Delaney's one of 3 women that I was going to highlight. Because Delaney, to me, I feel Delaney has the ability to play in the WNBA one day. She's not particularly tall, 5'10", but very, very gifted. And she has the unteachable gifts of instinct and basketball IQ. So you're right. She has not had any real difficulty. She had a tough time against the University of Iowa. Not that I'm an Iowa homer ever. You know that, Connor.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, it's early in her career. She's playing the Big Ten. The Hawkeyes, I believe, are still undefeated in women's basketball. So she played a real tough top 15 team and, didn't have the best night, but she's beaten some other really good teams. And she's been the leader on that BYU Cougar team. So she's going to have a great career. Another Albertan who I would put at the top of the food chain of women playing in the NCAA is Yvonne Edgem out of Calgary, who was everything last year for Gonzaga, award upon award, and could have gone to the WNBA. She was eligible to, but chose to stay because she felt she had some unfinished business. And then there's Skyla Sword, out of Ontario. She plays for Michigan, and she's going to be a superstar as well. She's been Big Ten Freshman of the Week twice already, and she's going to be a great, great player.
That is awesome. Paul Sir joining us here, talking some hoops on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz in for Jason. Now, this came in from Husk. He says, got to ask Mr. Sir what he thinks about the Nuggets and the roster. Does something need to change? Can Jokic play better? Or can't play better, but maybe he can. What do you think about the Denver Nuggets?
they need tightening up. They need a refresh, a bit of a refresh. What they've got now, I think it's a combination of a couple of things. The Brown, who went to the Raptors, and so far has been of no value at all because of injuries mostly. But losing him, using Caldwell Pope has hurt them, it seems, as well. I'm thinking more from a locker room standpoint. Like, to your point, Connor, can Jokic play better? Probably. He just keeps playing better and better all the time. You'd have to say he's in the early stages the MVP favorite, along with Gilgeous-Alexander, who I hope we can touch on before we're done. But the Nuggets aren't the same as they were a couple of years ago. I don't think Jamal Murray's the same. I don't know if it's injuries. I don't know if it's other stuff. But he's certainly not the impact player. He has some decent games, but he has a lot of games that are pretty mediocre. So, they need something. But right now, all they have is Nikola Jokic putting up monstrous numbers and trying to pull the whole team along. They have had some injury issues, so we'll see after a couple of games. But they had a good game 2 games ago, then laid an egg yesterday. So pretty inconsistent right now and just barely above 500.
I'm glad you mentioned OKC. I did want to go there. I believe they're averaging plus 12 differential, first in the West in their division. They're 5 games up on the Denver Nuggets. They come off a game where SGA had 30 points against the Toronto Raptors. I will say this: that's become one of my favorite teams. Like, I'm a Raptor fan at heart, but I don't like watching them. But you give me some OKC Thunder, and I'm in. I'm really liking what they're doing.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's a great summary. If you watched the game last night, I think what you just stated, Connor, is what if people, aside from, cheering for the home team, who have a lot of interesting pieces that as they develop will become better and better NBA players, but they're not that particularly fun to watch. But when you watch OKC play, that's a whole different deal. And the 2 Canadians, I really thought it was interesting last night to see 4 Canadians on the court, all bringing something really unique to each of their games in the way they contribute to their teams. But I'm getting off track on your point. I couldn't agree with you more. They are an incredibly fun team to watch. The way they complement each other, what they give up for each other, and then they build around a genuine superstar in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And to me, I like to call him my analytics buster because his game does not fit the irritating analytics model of shoot the 3 and shoot layups and go to the free throw line, which just drives me out of my mind. And I think a lot of people are really growing tired of the NBA's overemphasis on the 3. All you have to do is watch Gilgeous-Alexander, mid-range, floater, pull-ups, get to the rim, shoot the 3, find his open teammate, play defense. Like, he is a complete player, both ends of the court, but on offense, right now, I think he has the most diverse and best game in the league. And I would include that versus Luka Doncic. I think Gilgeous-Alexander, if I was building a team, I would take him 100 times out of 100 over Luka.
Very quick questions for you before we let you go. Paul Chomsker says, what is Steve up to these days?
Steve this past year coached and played in Mongolia in 3x3. The men's team came within literally 1 point of going to the Olympics. They finished in the top 12 in the world again. Steve is still the top Canadian player at age 42. And in fact, it will be announced shortly. He will be playing on Team Canada in the upcoming AmeriCup next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So Steve is very proud to be representing the country in 3x3. So still playing really well. And he coaches, he's helped transform Mongolia into a 3x3 international power. So Steve's doing great things in basketball, but he's back in Edmonton now.
Did you just break some news here?
Yep.
Well, there you go. I like to hear that. Steve Sir at 42, going to represent Canada. And my final question for you quickly, Toronto Tempo, the team name for the Toronto WNBA franchise. Is it going to work in Toronto?
I don't know. We'll see. I think everybody, here's what I think about the WNBA. when you look at the data, if you want to get into analytics, there's only one analytic that matters in the WNBA, really. There's much more to it. This is oversimplifying. And you know, Connor, I'm a huge advocate, and I've put my time and energy into developing women's basketball in Edmonton, in Canada. I'm a huge believer in it. But there's only one thing to say about the WNBA. Why the surge of popularity last year? That was Caitlin Clark. And yes, there are other players, Angel Reese, other players. But as Caitlin goes, so the league goes. So the question will become, will the league grow and get better at what they do and what they put on the court in order to grow the league to more than just a flash in the pan? I think they can. I hope they will. And I hope the Toronto Tempo are better than their name. So in terms of more successful. So I'm not a fan. But
it's a bad name. It's fair.
Oh my God. But anyway, but I hope so. Time will tell. I think, Toronto obviously is the best market for it. And if it's going to sink or swim, that's the market to be in. I think a lot of resources go into making it successful. So let's hope everybody gets out and supports the Toronto team. I won't even utter the name.
I'm with you there. Bad name, but I hope they succeed. Paul, thanks for doing this today.
100%. Thanks a lot, Connor. Have a great weekend.
You as well. That's Paul Sir, host of the basketball show, longtime pro and player, and a father to Steve, who's going to be representing Canada at the FIBA 3-on-3 in Puerto Rico at the age of 42.
Steve Sir is such a good athlete.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Breaking news here on the show.
Oh, Steve, he's in Mongolia. He's turned it into a 3-on-3 powerhouse. Okay, I don't think anyone expected to hear that update.
Just casually. Yeah, that's going to be announced shortly or announced here. A couple of more donations coming in here. As we were talking, Rob came in. Sorry, I missed you earlier, Rob, with 100. Then Mondo did 100. Said he won $95 because of Gregor's 6-3 score prediction yesterday. So he's just paying it forward, sending it our way. Then Rob S came in and Ron F with $100 donations. So we only need 3 $100 donations. We need 5 $200 donations and 1 $500 donations. Who wants to be the hero and get us there? All money raised today is going to the holiday hamper. Help get food, meals for families that need it on Christmas Day, some presents as well, maybe a little dessert, throw in a box of chocolates, things of that nature. And if you want, you can still become an elf and adopt a family where you would just take care of everything. It's very rewarding. It's fun to do. You get actually go drop it off at their house. So if you want to do that, check them out, Holiday Hamper. But we're taking donations here on the Jason Gregor Show as the month of giving rolls on. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we got the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. We've got Craig Button, 5 questions, Spec, Low Tide, and Wanye's World. Tons to get to still here on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440 and the Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook. But first, we'll get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Fountain Tire. Until December 14th, Fountain Tire is giving away a set of Salem Terramax AT2s to one lucky winner, built for SUVs, pickup trucks, and vans with an aggressive open shoulder tread design. The 3PM's certified tire will get you through the snowy season. Head to fountaintire.com/promotions to enter.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update, the Edmonton Oilers have acquired forward Jacob Perreault from the Canadiens in exchange for defenseman Noel Hoffenmeyer. Per the Elks themselves, the Elks have agreed to terms on a 3-year deal with quarterback Trey Ford. The New York Rangers and Igor Shesterkin have agreed to a contract extension for 8 years between $11.5 and $12 million per year. 6 games today in the NHL. The games kicking off the action. We'll see Washington in Toronto and Seattle in New Jersey, both at 5 p.m. 7 games today in the NBA. Orlando and Philly kicking off that action at 5 as well. Other news in the sporting world, the Oil Kings in action tomorrow as they'll be in Medicine Hat to take on the Tigers. A 7 p.m. puck drop for that one. And in the BCHL, Spruce Grove playing host to Okotoks tonight. A 7 p.m. puck drop out at the Grand Fear Arena. Sherwood Park's also in action in the BCHL tonight. An 8 p.m. puck drop for them out in Penticton. Golden Bears hockey tonight and tomorrow against Nate at the Drake. 7 p.m. puck drop for those ones. And Jacob Trouba has been traded to the Anaheim Ducks per sources. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
I'm making my list, checking it twice. And guess what? I'm giving Will Hawk beef jerky to everyone, naughty and nice. Because honestly, everyone deserves a taste of Alberta's finest, no matter if they've been bad or good. So this holiday season, skip the chocolates and pass on the turkey. Make sure you're Will Hawking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Ho, ho, ho!
Call to place your pre-order today at 780-986-2537.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Ain't it beautiful? The inventory is unprecedented. Volvo Cars Edmonton is proud to boast an amazing selection of in-stock Volvo XC40s, 60s, and 90s. Visit Volvo Cars Edmonton today and experience the exemplary service you've come to expect and the affordable luxury only found with Volvo Cars Edmonton, Canada's only 12-time Volvo Excellence Award winners. Experience the difference.
Volvo of Edmonton.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Santa sweat, ripping on the tree, due to that new furnace that you got from Legacy.
Legacy Heating and Cooling wants to help you prepare for Santa. A nice warm stop during the cold night is the gift you give him. And Legacy can help with no payments and no interest for 1 year on your festive new furnace. Because warm homes get better presents. Happy holidays from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Everybody now, Santa sweat, Santa sweat. This is really weird. Santa perspiration.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 3-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site December 11th to 13th, 8 a.m. Live on-site and online. On offer core construction heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids on now. On-site viewing starts December 7th. Timed auction on December 8th. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
A career in the public service is better in Alberta. Better wages, lower taxes, better job opportunities with our thriving economy, better chances for advancement, plus a better future with new investment in healthcare and education. Public service, it's better here. Learn more and discover new career opportunities in the public sector at alberta.ca/betterhere. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. The Canada-wide clearance is on now with GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation and see more at gmcoffers.ca.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Kate the Great with you here. The show brought to you by playalberta.ca. You can head over there, do some parlays tonight, college football, NHL, NBA, whatever you want. Use code word Gregor and get a $50 free play. Only at playalberta.ca. Use your game sense. Stay within your limits. We got another one here from L or EI. The incredible hot stepper, $100. Thank you very much. Jot that on my sheet. I'm just going to put you as L. We need 2 more $100 donations. We need 5 more $200 donations and 1 more $500 donation. We get those, we're at 7,500, and I don't want to like vilify them. We're gonna make them pay, but GS Construction will pay 7,500, and all of a sudden we've raised 1,500. So why don't we get there? We need two more $100 donations, 5 more $200 donations, and one $500 donation. 1-833-401-1440. Teamster Gary says, I'm sure it's been mentioned, but just wanted to say, good job, Gregor, on the score prediction. Hey, he nailed it. 6-3. His game day predictions at OilersNation.com. Not too shabby. 3 for 3. I want to say, though, hypothetically, if you listen to 5 questions and you took my pick for first goal scorer for the Oilers, although it wouldn't have counted because it was not the first goal of the game, Zach Hyman, I got it right. Wanye. I'm living in Gregor's shadow. Just because I didn't go 3 for 3. Wow, Connor, 4 hours is a lot to be talking. I know, Tiger. Got to do it, though. Can't freeze up and have dead air.
Can't freeze up.
That's not good at all. Jason P. I'll put in $200. Jason, thank you very much. The fine folks at the Holiday Hamper will be reaching out to you shortly to make that final.
I now know.
Your tax receipt.
Sports 1440.
We will continue on here. Declan, let me know when we do have Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. When we do, we'll get to that. Oh, it looks like we do have it. 2-minute warnings for Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, tech, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net. Of course, every Monday, Friday here on the Jason Gregor Show, we do the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. He's got cerebral palsy, unable to do radio, which is something he's always wanted to do, but with the modern technology, we've been able to make it happen. Here it is. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
I now know why Connor Halley is in the air chair. Gregor, he's away today, celebrating the big news story of the day, Edmonton Elks. Trey Ford, 3-year extension. Now, if you are a first-time listener, and God bless you for doing so, Gregor, he likes Ford, the quarterback guy, so I don't know. Gregor might be planning a parade for Ford. Maybe he's setting up the TFFC. You've heard of it, right? TFFC, Trey Ford Fan Club. I digress, but not really. The Ford story produces all kinds of angles. For this laptop co-pilot, the biggest for me, something. If I was writing the news story, put into my lead paragraph is this: how wrong, so wrong, this year's version of Elks management and coaches Ford. You kidding me? Time after time, week after week, Jarius Jackson relegated Ford to clipboard duty. After he provided Brazel moving the ball, running the ball, throwing the ball, putting a creative, and this is a big one, unpredictable, offense. Yet, forever what reason, Jackson gave his quarterback the clipboard. How bad is that, Uncle Pete? Frankly, I wouldn't blame Ford if he played X's and O's on the clipboard. Oregon figure out a new retirement. Do you think for a minute if Ed Hervey and CEO and President Chris Morris were not here, Ford would not be around neither? But perhaps what we have to do, more than anything, is park the past in the rear-view mirror. Yet, and forgive me for repeating myself, Ford's deal shows just how bad the Elks were managed on the field. We found Gregor on his way to beautiful downtown Brooks, Alberta. And, like always, he made a great point. On the term of the Ford deal, 3 years. Gregor said, and I really agree with him, the 3 years shows a commitment level from both sides. This is exciting for Elks fans. Very exciting. And, it's safe to say, Santa delivered early for Edmonton Elks fans. And thanks to everyone contributing in the month of giving. 2-minute warning with me, Tate, Monday, Friday, Gregor Show, Sports 1440.
There you go. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. As that happened, Gerald sending in a $200 donation. So, Gerald, thank you for that. That's fantastic. We need 3 more $200 donations and 2 more $100 donations. And if you do donate, of course, Holiday Hamper will reach out to you. So you let us know. We'll pass along your phone number. They'll call you and take care of business. In regards to the 2-minute warning from Cam Tate, just seemed like it had to be this way. The way things had gone, I kind of thought the only way that Trey Ford left the green and gold would be to Calgary, stay in the province. They traded for Vernon Adams Jr. So it just makes sense. If the reports are true and Jordan Maximic becomes the OC, I think that's going to be really good for Trey Ford. He was in studio. You just got the vibes that, he didn't know if leaving was the right thing to do. Seemed very committed to being here, especially with the change. Chris Morris talked about it. Ed Hervey, they opened up those lines of communication and they helped get this job done. Going back to last year, the way Trey Ford was handled, it was weird. Like, There was a point in the season when they went from McLeod Bethel Thompson to Trey Ford, and I was thinking, why? You should be rolling with McLeod Bethel Thompson at this point, not making a quarterback change. It was just a mess. It was tough. Ed Hervey brings stability. Coach Killam brings stability. He'll bring preparation, having these guys ready to go on game day. I don't think you're giving Trey Ford from day one, and we'll see who gets brought in as a backup. But he's the guy. He's not going to lose the reins. He's going to take this team going forward. You combine that with the running game, the offensive line that they built up, and we'll see what they do with the receiver position, because they talked about it yesterday. Gregor and Ed paying star receivers might not be in the game plan, but it's going to be a commitment to building the trenches and going from there. And I think that's going to go a long way for Trey Ford. Can't wait to see it. Cam Tate, 2-minute warning, Monday and Friday here on Sports 1440 on the Jason Gregor Show. Roger coming in for $200. Roger that. JR and Red Deer says, I really like that version of Tate's voice. Wanye smiling. There was one voice that happened with Tate's 2-minute warning. It was a little high pitched. We asked for a change.
He picked a different voice.
I like the deep voice.
Gregor got excited.
Yeah, we made the change.
That technology, though, is amazing.
Really
for text to speech.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very interesting to listen to it. It's really well done. Cam does a great job.
For sure. Love having Cam Tate's 2-minute warnings here on the station. Lan says, I am excited to see Ford for a full season. Absolutely. The weirdest thing, it was like Trey Ford puts people in the seats. People come out to watch Trey Ford play football. It's an exciting brand. Just having him under center, in my opinion, opens up the run game. Like anyone who's played football, when you have that threat that the quarterback can take off with it, it makes you hesitate just a second. The play action, the option, whatever it might be, like it opens things up. You get him rolling out, make the big boys up front, chase him for a little while. That's going to tucker him out. It goes a long way.
Connor, I would like you to explain the Trey Ford storyline to me. I've been busy with electronics and stuff. I haven't really been paying attention. Can you explain to me what has happened with him and why this is significant?
Well, it all goes back a couple of years. It's kind of been since he was drafted by this team. And there was drama with should he play, should he not play? How good is he? Is he the best quarterback on the roster? Do you want more of a traditional pocket quarterback? Like Taylor Cornelius was probably that guy. So he was getting starts over Trey Ford. Trey Ford would go in. And it wasn't perfect, but it was exciting and they were winning football games, right? There's things that as a quarterback you can only learn from playing, making those reads, learning from them. And with Chris Jones and Jarius Jackson, and forgive me, I forget the OC before that, it just wasn't consistent. In and out, not really knowing what to do with him, to the point where in this offseason, had he left in free agency, nobody would have blamed him. There just wasn't any loyalty to him, despite him winning a lot of football games. And I will say, I didn't put all the blame on the other quarterback, McLeod Bethel Thompson, to start the year, because I just don't think they were a good football team yet. But they hit a point where the record was so bad, it should have just been Trey, take it over. Because he did the same thing the season before, 2023, and looked good. Like he just makes big plays with his legs and, keeps his eyes downfield, finds receivers, having him out there improves the running game. So this year he was heading into free agency and the talk was he could leave, but Chris Morris comes in, GM Ed Hervey, and they realize the talent that they have. And I think provide a little more stability to the point where Trey Ford obviously was willing to stay for another 3 years.
How can the Elks be, and again, forgive me, I don't follow all that closely. How can they have lost as many games and had as much difficulty as they have and have a good quarterback in their system? Like, who are they prioritizing over him and why?
Well, and that's exactly it. So Taylor Cornelius was here for a little while. He had his moments, but eventually you had to move on. Trey Ford went in there and had some success. That's why we all thought Trey Ford, all right, going into 2024, this is your team. They went out and signed McLeod Bethel Thompson, who played in the XFL the year before. But the year before that, won a Grey Cup with the Argos. Good player. But, you want Trey Ford, right? Like you want the guy of the future. McLeod Bethel Thompson, just a little bit older. Not going to be the guy here for the next few years. Now, I'll say when Trey Ford went in there, Trey said it. McLeod Bethel-Thompson was awesome. Helped him, go through film, talked on the sidelines. A pro's pro. But, at the juncture of the season, they shouldn't have been switching back and forth. Like, I think there's a spot where, is there a hockey way? Like, as a rookie, playing out the stretch, getting a little bit more ice time, just learning things, right? Trey Ford could have gone through those things. There was a game against Winnipeg where the Winnipeg defense got the best of him. They tend to do that in the CFL. And they benched him the next week and went with McLeod Bethel-Thompson and got stomped. It would have been a good opportunity, in my opinion, for Trey Ford to have watched film, try to pick up on those things, and see how he comes out the other side.
Is Bethel-Thompson still a member of the Elks?
Free agent, I believe. It was a 1-year deal, so could be back. We'll have to wait and see what he wants to do.
But this 3-year contract, like Gregor was alluding through Cam Tate, is effectively a commitment for him being a starter for the next 3 years.
I would think so. It's and who knows, like maybe they had to take that extra step to really prove to him, hey, we want you here. We want you in the system. This is your team. I'm sure there will be someone brought in to push him in camp. Maybe a vet. Maybe it is McLeod Bethel-Thompson. But I'm sure somebody before signing would have to know, hey, in all likelihood, you're the backup. Are you good with that? I think it's a good way to make some money.
Being a backup?
Yeah.
Would be the dream.
You don't take too many hits. You are one play away from going in. That's a possibility, but Montana to Rice says Trey Ford is Broberg, except Broberg left.
Oh.
So there you go.
Okay.
MTR putting it into hockey terms for you.
Thank you.
But not making 4.5 schmil.
I want to know more about the Elks. I want to try to follow more as to be a good citizen. But for me with sports, I don't know if you're the same way, Connor. It's the storylines I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
It's the storylines around a team. It's the storylines around a season. And sometimes when you're on the outside looking in, it's hard to kind of grasp what the main things are about the team that you may not see on the highlight reel.
Yeah.
So Trey Ford overlooked like Rudy in the movie Rudy. And now he's got the 3-year contract like in the movie Rudy.
He's someone to watch for. I'll tell you, I went to the first game of the season sitting in the press box, saw a lot of kids wearing number 2 Trey Ford jerseys, the backup quarterback. It was weird. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk some hockey. Trades in the NHL. The Oilers made a move. Contract extensions, goalies getting paid, maybe setting the market. We'll talk about that and more with Craig Button. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Checking off your gift list can go more smoothly when you give smoothies. From now till December 31st, buy a $30 Booster Juice gift card and gift yourself with any regular size smoothie for free. Try the new salted caramel smoothie made with vanilla oat beverage, vanilla frozen yogurt, and decadent caramel. It pairs magically with the salted caramel booster ball, bursting with score toffee bites, cinnamon, maple syrup, cashew butter, and more. Happiest of holidays from Booster Juice. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area. Prices exclude delivery.
'Tis the season to be social, so find your way to the Ridge Social Eatery St. Albert. Come check out the Ridge's new menu with exciting new food and drink items, as well as daily specials. There's live music, select Saturdays, all-day Sunday specials, and if you want to catch the game, come in for Edmonton Hockey Night specials. Hey, looking for a place to have your Christmas party? Santa knows there's no better place than the Ridge. For more details, visit theridgestantalbert.com and follow us on social media.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at Chevrolet. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab RST models. Explore downtown hotspots with standard Chevrolet safety assist, including automatic emergency braking and HD surround vision camera. Or take on the great outdoors with an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine and available in-vehicle trailering app. Oh, look, a cute chipmunk. Not so cute. Not so cute. Ask your Chevrolet dealer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
26, welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, as well as Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz sitting in. We got Declan Kruger, Kate the Great with us here as well, keeping us on track. Of course, you can always text into the eWell inbox, 1-833-401-1440. And the show, as always, is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, $33 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. If you're Igor Shesterkin, that's not that much money. But if you're me, that'll be a nice little payday. PlayAlberta.ca. Right now, we're going to be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN, scout and analyst, former GM in the NHL. Craig, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Connor. How are you keeping?
You know what? I am doing pretty good. We appreciate you joining us here on the show. And there was some big movement, some big things done by the New York Rangers today. But I want to ask you, and I don't know how your scouting report is, but if you went back to the 2020 NHL entry draft, the 27th overall pick, Jacob Perreault, selected by the Anaheim Ducks, today acquired by the Edmonton Oilers. Do you remember much about him?
Well, I remember lots about him.
What can you tell us?
A one-dimensional goal scorer. Not a great skater. And when you're one-dimensional, there's only one choice you have when you're only one dimension. You better score lots. And he hasn't.
Career AHL. I know he spent some time on the East Coast.
He hasn't even been a good player in the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a one-dimensional scorer, you better score. And he hasn't scored.
Okay, well, there's the update. Yeah, that was the trade earlier today for the Edmonton Oilers. Maybe keep an eye out for him in Bakersfield and maybe even the East Coast League. Craig, the big news of the day.
Everybody, let me just say, a lot of players develop at different stages and everything. There's been no signs I've seen watching Jacob Perreault over the last number of years that he's progressing in any way that's going to give him a chance to play in the NHL. So whatever, I don't wish any ill will against anybody. Well, you always got to be open-minded towards it, but he hasn't shown any progression whatsoever. It would have been a great trade for the Edmonton Oilers if they would have been able to get his brother Gabe.
Okay. Question for you. So going back to that, a player who is just a, one trait goal scorer, it can be a risk taking them, especially in the first round if you are the Anaheim Ducks, if it doesn't pan out. Can you think of anyone like that worked out in the long term?
Like when you ask me, like worked out, what do you mean?
NHL career, made it to the league and continued on being a guy who was, primarily known for his goal scoring and hung around in the NHL.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, there's times when you don't have when you're looking for an opportunity, and players are always looking for an opportunity, and teams are looking like for players like Jacob and go, okay, he had it at one point in time, but again, like. The progression of him, right? The progression of his game has been, in my view, nil. There's been no progression. Not from the time he was drafted in the first round as an 18-year-old, and nothing in between. So you reach a point, and players realize, he was in Anaheim. Okay, it didn't work. Then he gets traded to Montreal, and he's going, okay, this is a chance. If there's any chance, that I really believe sometimes players, it's the third team that you have a chance on. So this will be Jacob's third team to be able to try to find his way there. And again, if you can show through that one dimension that he has, it was really good. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that dimension wasn't worthy of first round consideration. It wasn't worthy of taking a chance on. So you start to look and you go, okay, wait a sec. Edmonton, they have lots of skill. They have players that can get me the puck. And sometimes as a manager, you're looking to go, okay, we only need a one-dimensional scorer. Kenny Holland, the former manager, used to say, when they tell me all he does is score, he goes, at the end of the night, they have a scoreboard that tells you who won by who scored more goals. So scoring goals is really critically important. And maybe for Jacob, being in a new situation, third team, that you turn a corner, you start to go, okay, I realize now what I got to do. But that dimension was really good. I'm just, in my assessment of him, there hasn't been a progression in his game. I think it's far too early to start writing off players at 22 or 23, but you got to start showing that you got capabilities.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it wouldn't be the first time someone's been traded to the Oilers AHL affiliate and start to make some noise and make some plays. So we'll keep an eye out and see what happens. Craig Button from the NHL and TSN joining us here today. And the big news out today has to be the New York Rangers making all sorts of news, sending Jacob Trouba to the Anaheim Ducks for Urho Vakanainen, as well as a 2025 fourth-round pick, and then signing Igor Shesterkin. I guess just your thoughts on moving out Trouba, your captain, to the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, it's a saga that seems to have been playing out with this ending since the summertime, and I don't think Chris Drury made any bones, or he didn't hide that he was looking to make moves, and certainly sometimes everybody has different approaches to how you want to try to deal with scenarios. In this case, with your captain, and feeling that he's not a fit here anymore. It's a delicate situation. And again, some people do it with a velvet glove. Some people do it with a little bit more rough edges. Bottom line is Jacob Trouba feels that, Anaheim's the place for him to go. I mean, and I think for the Anaheim Ducks, it's a nice acquisition. It allows their team to continue to grow. It allows individuals to grow because, players that might not be ready, players that, you can put back in San Diego, let them keep growing their game, not be overwhelmed. Give your team a little bit more of a competitive tenor. I think that's a positive move for the Anaheim Ducks. And, trying to clear out some money to get Shesterkin signed and sealed and delivered, which the Rangers did. I think that was an outcome that Chris Drury and the Rangers were looking to accomplish, and they did. And we know, and Chris looks at it and goes, okay, it's going to be a little bit rougher. It's going to be a little choppier when we deal with our captain and a great person like Jacob. But this is what I have to do at this moment in time to get a foundation in place, which is Shesterkin. He's the best goaltender in the league.
Was the number or the term surprising to you, or is that where you kind of expected to come in at?
Yeah, I mean, it's 8 years. You see that's where it goes. I say he's the best goaltender in the NHL, and Connor Halley is right there with him. So we can look at what Connor Halley got and go, geez, Connor Hellebuyck's a hell of a deal. But, prices rise, and certainly for Shesterkin, where he's at, I think that the agent looks at it and goes, you're not going to be able to find somebody. And the market value is also understanding what other teams are willing to pay for him. And I think that the price that other teams would be willing to pay for Igor Shesterkin is the one that Chris Drury found was right for him as well.
Now, we had heard that Trouba and Kreider could be on the move. Those are names being floated out there. Do you think Kreider stays with the Rangers, or do you think he could be on the way out next?
I mean, when your name's out there and you're looking to, try to add a player for different reasons. I just went through the Anaheim Ducks scenario acquiring Trouba and why I think it's good. I think the same scenario could be true for Chris Kreider and teams that are trying to improve their competitive tenor, add a player that's played in hard games, played in the playoffs. And that's part of growing. That's part of your young players also watching, those guys and how they carry themselves. Anaheim now has Ratko Gudas. They have Jacob Trouba. These are hardened players, and Chris Kreider is a hardened player. So if you're trying to get your players into a scenario where they can watch somebody and see how hard it is to win and how hard it is to compete, these are good acquisitions in my view if you can fit them in on your cap. And Trouba's not long-term, and neither is Kreider.
Craig Button from the NHL and TSN joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you here. Thatcher Demko returning to the Canucks lineup tonight to back up when they take on the Blue Jackets. Just having him back on the bench, how much of a boost is that going to be for the Canucks?
Well, I mean, we're talking when he's playing a real frontline goaltender. And I think that introducing him back into the lineup in this way, he gets to get into his game day routine. He gets to take the pregame warm up. He gets to watch the game and just get the feel back. And I think it's a good move. I like the move. I think you're kind of not putting them right into the fire, but you're getting them ready to be put into the fire. And I think just, getting that feel back with the team, new players, hearing how they react. I mean, the goaltender's got to be able to react to a lot of different and new voices back there. Hey, play the puck, reverse, whatever the comments are going on. So I think for Thatcher, who's been out and really worked hard to try to get back to a place where he can return to the lineup, that this is a really good first step. And certainly Kevin Lankinen has played so well for the Vancouver Canucks, which makes this situation and this approach, I think, even that much more advantageous both to the Canucks and to Demko, who they know is a frontline goaltender and sets them up for success.
Craig, we saw the rosters come out for the Four Nation face-off. The Canadian team looks pretty good. I don't know how you're going to make a bad team, but it's a very good roster. But people are critical of the goaltending. I look at it this way. The last two Stanley Cup finals, we've had a Canadian goalie there. Aiden Hill got the win. Stuart Skinner didn't, but was quite close. Do you think the knock on Canadian goaltending is overblown, or do you think internationally there could be a problem?
Well, so what you're trying to do, I think what happens is, I think at any time that, you're putting on the Maple Leaf for Canada and, there's a pride in going out and wanting to be at your very best and being the favorite and wanting to win. And you look at areas of your team and you start to say, okay, well, where are we stronger? Where are we weaker? And it's a lot of navel gazing, Connor. That's what it is. And so you become a little bit more critical and you look at the goaltending and there's nobody by the name of Carey Price or Patrick Roy or Marty Brodeur or Roberto Luongo or Eddie Belfour, there's not those names, right? So who are clear-cut number one goaltenders. They were elite goaltenders. So now you go to this next tier of goaltending, and they're good goaltenders. Binnington's won a Stanley Cup. Aiden Hill's won a Stanley Cup. Stuart Skinner went to Game 7. Montembeault won a World Championship gold medal, which is no easy feat. And, that's difficult to do. And so because we don't have those big names, Canada starts to, oh, my God, do we have a crisis here? Oh, and I think when it comes to hockey in Canada, there's a lot of crises that are created unnecessarily. I think this is another one. And certainly when you look at what those accomplishments are, the Doug Armstrong who oversees everything, watched Binnington win. Bruce Cassidy, an assistant coach, watched Aiden Hill win. The Edmonton Oilers fans on Tuesday night watched Aiden Hill beat the Oilers. And then you have Sam Montembeault, who Hockey Canada and coaches that were there watched him win. So there's a familiarity with these coaches. If you're expecting a goaltender to come in and stand on his head, then you don't have a good enough team. What those goaltenders have to do is just go in and just play. Don't put us at a disadvantage. We're not going to ask you to try to do everything you can because we're not strong enough to defend. They're going to be good defensively. And the goaltenders just have to go do their job. But you also compare it to the other goaltenders. You compare it to Hellebuck. You compare it to Saros, and nobody's going to start to tell you that they're in that category of goaltender. Allmark's won a Vezina trophy. Gustafsson is having a fantastic season. Markstrom's been in the Vezina trophy conversation. Saros has. Hellebuck has. So now you start to compare them against those guys. It's probably not a fair comparison. Take the best you have and have confidence that they can get the job done.
Craig, I really found myself, and at the time I thought it might have been a little gimmicky, but when the tournament got going, I loved it. And it was the 2016 World Cup of Hockey with Team North America, the young players, and Europe. Do you think the NHL considered doing any of that, or is this just meant to be a quick tournament with the elite hockey nations?
We're missing a couple of the elite hockey nations, Russia and Czechia.
Yeah.
So I think what it is, I think it's the first step to getting back to an international calendar. And I think, there hasn't been one, as you just pointed out, since 2016. So it's a return to an international calendar. It's an in-season tournament where, there's no distractions. Super Bowl's done. Baseball hasn't started. The NBA is into whatever area of their season. So now you can really look at this window of opportunity to have, and keep in mind, the NHL is played in North America. It's not that countries in Sweden don't want to watch their national team play and compete, but you're going to be drawing, fans from North America. So this gives North American fans a taste of international hockey during the season in February, which I think if you go to the Olympics, you're going to be playing in February. And as you come back to the international calendar, we haven't had it since 2016. And I think that it's a really good, strong first step. Would everybody like to see Russia there? Yeah. Would everybody like to see Czechia there? Yeah. And those players would love to be there. But the reality is that because of different circumstances, this is what they felt was a good initial step in the return to international hockey.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. What do you think the intensity level is going to be like?
High.
Good.
Listen,
good.
No, because I mean, this is. Let me tell you this: there's the All-Star Game intensity level, which is low, and then there's this. When you're out there competing, these are the best competitors, best players, great competitors on the planet, and they're going to go out and they have national pride, and they're going to go out with the excitement and the joy of representing their country, which I just pointed out, they haven't had that opportunity on this type of scale. They've had the World Championships, U20 World Juniors. Yeah, but this is a different scale. This is literally the best players from these four countries competing against one another. And I watched the 2010 gold medal game again, just in recent weeks. And I knew that it was intense. I knew it was competitive. I forgot how competitive it was. And I don't think this tournament will be any less so.
Cannot wait for it, Craig. Thanks so much for doing this today. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Connor. Have a great day.
You too. There you go. Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. You look like you want to say something.
No, just taking it all in. This Four Nations Cup is going to be an interesting thing. Who do you think is going to win?
Canada, of course.
As a Patriot or as a hockey expert?
Patriot. Well, I'm not a hockey expert.
You're not?
I'm far from it.
I see.
The thing is, Canada could finish fourth, and I wouldn't care. Who cares? I'm going to enjoy this, but I'm putting no stock into it. If Canada wins, I'm not going to be like tweeting people, making fun of hey, Greg Wyshynski, you guys suck. The Olympics, mind you. That's where I'm more into it. Like, this is the top. This is where every country, hopefully at the time, will be represented. But this thing, not too much. Not worried.
Do you think that this is a good idea to do the Four Nations Cup, or if you were commissioner for a day, or would you squash this?
I like it. Like Craig said, getting back on the international schedule. What I would have done, though, because players like Nikita Kucherov, Leon Draisaitl don't have a team, I would have made a 6-team tournament, adapted what we had in 2016, made a Young Stars team and a top European team as well. Then made it a 6-team tournament. You only play your division straight to playoffs or something.
I mean, there's obviously a lot of geopolitical implications on this tournament. In normal times, a Four Nations Cup would probably be a 5 Nations Cup.
Even 6 would be good.
There's no qualifying process.
No.
It's an arbitrary, abstract tournament thought up on a piece of paper on a desk.
Yeah.
I still like it, though. Like, if you dressed 5 strangers in Oilers gear and had them, like, beer leaguers play 5 strangers in Flames gear, I would watch that on TV, Connor. I would watch it. Even knowing it wasn't really the Oilers against the Flames, I'd still watch it. And I think Team Canada hockey, as long as, like, Connor and Sydney are on the same team, Sidney Crosby, this is already a meaningful thing for me. I always wanted to see them play together.
Yes, and I also want to see McDavid and McKinnon on a line. Like, just the speed.
But you don't care, though.
I don't care who wins.
Okay.
I want to watch it, but I don't care. Like, if an American is like, we are the top nation in the world and they win, I will say, okay, let's wait for the Olympics. That's where it gets ratcheted up a little bit, in my opinion. We were joking, back when in the Olympics, the USA played Spain and Kobe just ran over Pau. Like, what if in the Olympics, McDavid just is like, I'm going to run over Draisaitl first shift?
Is it confirmed they're going to play in the Olympics?
I believe so.
That's great.
Well, anything can happen. another global pandemic or something.
Oh, no.
Knock on wood. Ben Dangles says, HK, who cares? Strutty. Classic Strutty line. And then finally, MTR. I don't know if I agree with the compete level. Do we really think Ekholm was going to finish the check on McDavid knowing they have cup aspirations, or Pietrangelo hitting Eichel? I just don't see it. I'm with you. I'm hoping it's a high-intensity skill game, but I don't know how physical it gets. Holiday hamper, Pyramid of Giving continues. We are so close, you guys. We only need 2 more $200 donations, 2 more $100 donations, and 1 $500 donation. So maybe you're with your buddies. Maybe you're a company. You want to get a free shameless plug on the old radio, the AM dial? Make that donation. 1-833-401-1440. Text that in or call Declan, and we'll get there. Then we'll be at 7,500. And with that, GS Construction will match us, and we'll raise $15,000 for the Pyramid of Giving holiday hamper, helping out families in need this Christmas season. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's probably peak 5 questions with Declan Kruger. That's up next on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, Kate the Great with you here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by...
A lot of things were going on in 1974. Happy Days premiered on television. The Rubik's Cube was invented. Alley and Foreman fought the rumble in the jungle. And GS Construction started their first job. Yes, for 50 years, GS Construction has been building the infrastructure of Edmonton and surrounding areas. Think of the neighborhoods that weren't even built yet. Think of all the work that had to be done to get them built. Probably about 50 years. But for GS Construction, it's been time well spent. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hockey is back, and Play Alberta, Alberta's #1 sportsbook and official partner of the Edmonton Oilers, has you covered with bigger offers, boosted odds, live betting, player props, and more. New to Play Alberta? New players now receive $200 in free bets just for signing up. You already play? Get a $10 free bet for every $100 you bet. Every week, all season long. Visit playalberta.ca and make your picks today. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Weather forecast? Ugh. Savings forecast? Cha-ching. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 Select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 at Fountain Tire until December 14th. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Black Friday continues at the Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching Love Seater chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Delicious news. The McDonald's meals you love are now $9.99 every day. Grab your faves like the Big Mac, 6-piece McNugget, McChicken, or Filet-O-Fish with medium fries and a medium fountain drink for $9.99 each plus tax. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Edmonton, Alberta, and the surrounding area, prices exclude delivery.
Does your bank do local? We do. In 2024, Vision Credit Union returned over $34 million in profit shares to our members. How did we do it? Each year, we return about 75% of our profits to Vision members as profit shares, which means that money is invested locally. It's just one of many ways that Vision supports our rural Alberta branch communities. Bank where your community matters. Bank with Vision Credit Union. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
At Pizza 73, we know that hunger happens. 1 minute you're wrapping presents, untangling Christmas lights, and thinking of a new place to put that elf. And next you're eating a box of candy canes because you've never been this hungry in your life. That's why we made the Pizza 73 Holiday Helper deal. You get 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas, and 4 pieces of cheesecake for just $25.49. The Pizza 73 Holiday Helper, because hunger happens.
Pizza 73.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, $33 million. You can get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, use promo code Gregor50 when you deposit, and you can get a $50 free play Use your game sense. Sean says, Connor, you said it perfect. I could probably just stop it there. I was arguing with Gregor the other week, and he said that it's that this was a gimmick and a moneymaker for the NHL, and you put it perfectly. Canada could finish 4th, and I wouldn't care that much. However, in the Olympics, we'd be invested as much as the Cup. Cheers. It's just different. This homemade event, who cares?
I'm in no way suggesting that the Four Nations Cup is a replacement for the Winter Olympics.
No.
The fact that we weren't seeing NHL hockey in the Winter Olympics, I think, is awful for the growth of the game. To see the stars playing against each other at their peak of their careers. I'm glad this replaces it in some degree.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. It's something. Few more spots. Declan, did you say we need 1,100 more?
It's looking like it, Connor, if my math is correct, which it is.
That's
1,100 out.
A $500, two $200. That puts us up to 900, and then two $100 donations. We've got an hour and 10 minutes to get there. Also, Jason Gregor has put his tickets to tomorrow night's Oilers game up for auction. Money raised will go to the Gregor Foundation. So if you want to do that, you can also text in 1-833-401-1440. Give us a bid. Start it all off. Should be a fun game. Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg returning to Edmonton. The Blues, winners of 4 of their last 5 with their new coach. Connor McDavid playing some pretty good hockey. Get those texts in 1-833-401-1440. That will help Gregor's grads. Right now, though, let's do it. 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. It's your last chance for Black Friday pricing. Save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs and save up to 25% off home, entertainment, furniture, and fireplaces.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right. Question number 1. We'll start with 1 today. Oilers in action tomorrow against the Blues. Can we get a score prediction and a bold prediction?
I'm going to go with the Oilers winning. Probably a shocker to most. I think they're playing some good hockey. Obviously, defensively, check things down. And I think they're going to be motivated. I think that you're going to see the leaders on this Edmonton Oilers hockey team a little ticked off. They said Broberg and Dylan Holloway would have been nice, good pieces for this team, and the Blues took them. So Connor McDavid, at least 3 points. Same for Leon Draisaitl. Oilers win 6-2.
Offensive output.
Yeah.
6-2. I'll go 4-3. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I'll never, ever, ever pick the Oilers to lose, ever. And I think that with the guys that spurned us leaving and coming back to town, we have to show them what they're missing.
That's it.
Nobody leaves us and gets away with it.
Yeah, I got a 7-2 vibe for this one. I don't know why, but yeah, that's where my head's at. Question number 2. Igor Shesterkin signs the 8-year contract extension with an AAV of $11.5 million. What do you guys think about this extension for Igor?
I grew up in a different time when there was a lot of franchise goalies in the NHL. Like young Wanye's bedroom growing up had Ed Belfour, Mike Richter, all these awesome goalie posters. Cujo. It's a different league now. And I think Shesterkin's one of the few actual foundational franchise player goalies in the league. And he's deserved to be paid accordingly. So I think it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, he's key to your success. They've got a rich history, I guess, with Henrik Lundqvist being the guy before that. Spend your money. You have to use it. You got to get right up to the cap. And, they were able to do so with his deal. So some people might not like it, but for the Rangers, I think it's a good thing. Keep morale high, reward your guys, and keep it going.
Question number 3. How many goals does Zach Hyman finish the season with?
Now, I have it saved on that computer that I said he'd score 50. I think that's wrong. So I'll drop it down a little bit. I'm going to put him at 28. He'll have a good second half of the season.
I'm looking here. So he's 21 games played, 5 goals, 5 assists. Obviously, that's not peak Zach Hyman output. I'll put him at 25.
Okay.
I like it. Question number 4. College football championship weekend. Who wins all the conference championship games?
Starting tonight with the Mountain West?
So, yeah, we'll start tonight with the Mountain West and the ACC.
Okay, give me Boise.
AAC, sorry.
Give me Tulane, the Green Wave. Army's pretty good, but give me a bit of an upset in that one. Arizona State. Georgia. Oregon. SMU.
I like it.
How am I supposed to know this, Declan? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who's your Wanye? Who's your favorite reserve running back for the Army football team? I have no earthly idea.
The question.
Do I pester you with upcoming ECHL matchups?
Boise State Broncos or UNLV? Is it the Running Rebels?
Yeah, Running Rebs.
Oh, on unis alone, the Running Rebels are better.
Tulane or Army?
The Army wins all the time.
Not all the time. Arizona State versus Iowa State.
When did the U.S. Army lose, Connor?
Nam?
Like,
controversial.
Not really. Kind of got blown out of the water in that one. They couldn't fight in a jungle.
Listen to you like it's a sporting event.
Yeah, maybe a little. Okay. Arizona, Iowa. States, schools.
Yeah, I don't know. Arizona, based on nothing.
Longhorns or Bulldogs?
Well, you're going to beat a Longhorns, going to destroy a dog in a real fight.
Oregon Ducks versus Penn State.
Well, fly Ducks fly.
Fly Ducks fly?
Number one team in the country, by the way.
Yeah.
But Penn State's number 3.
SMU versus Clemson.
SMU. The Stangs?
Yeah.
Ooh, you got to go with the Stangs.
The Tigers?
Come on, boys. The Stangs.
Declan, since you're the only one who actually matters here on this topic, what do you got?
So I'm going to take Boise State tonight, but I think it's going to be a really close game. I'll take Tulane over Army as well, Connor. I like ASU to beat Iowa State, but I think that's a 50-50 game. I've gone back and forth with this one. I'm going to take Texas to get their revenge. They beat Georgia. Oregon over Penn State. I think they win and cover. And then I'm going to take SMU over Clemson simply because I don't want to have to deal with Clemson winning and the committee bumping Bama over SMU. So that's what I'm going to say. Question number 5. I'm excited for this one. If you had to blatantly commit one minor inconvenience very broadly in public, but it means that then no one can ever do it again, what would you choose? And some examples I listed were like talking on speakerphone in public. You cut someone off in traffic. You're littering, like something like that. What would you do once, very blatantly, very proudly, but it means no one can do it again?
Well, one of the things that drives me crazy is when people don't wave when you let them in. So it'd have to be on a very big scale, right, for it to be public, Declan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you're doing it like dead center, West Edmonton Mall, December 21st.
No. So what I'm going to do is I'm driving in front of the Pope Mobile and not waving for them letting me in. It'd be on a worldwide stage. Oh, this guy didn't even wave to the Pope. I'll take that burden. But then for the rest of time, everyone starts to wave when you let them in.
It's a really good one.
I'm taking that in my own direction.
You took it a step further. I think I would do that as well. Like have someone let me in traffic and not wave.
Yeah, I wanted to make it about as big. And
I like that.
Well, maybe I'll do it during the Oilers championship parade. Just cut in front of the bus and not thank them. I'm trying to think of a big stage to do it.
If I'm following the logic of your question, Declan, if I tried to start a major war, would this then lead to world peace?
It's interesting. It's interesting you bring that up because I think the basis of this question that has been thrown around before is what crime would you commit to no longer have any crimes? I figured that was a little dark, so I took it to something, a public annoyance. So again, you took it, a step further. I'm not like it's your answer, but it seems a little.
I'd commit regicide, then no one would ever kill a king. Okay. Let me ask you a quick question as part of the 5 questions, Declan.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 4:30 Mountain Standard, the 2024 Navy Youth U18 hockey team is playing the St. Louis Sting 18 youth hockey team, under 18. South Florida Elite Prospects Cup Series. I don't need to break it all down for you, I'm sure. Just wondering who you think's going to win tonight and what performances you're looking for in that game.
Well, it's a great game. I had this one circled all week. I like Navy against the spread, but money line, I'm taking the Florida team.
Good answer. Good answer. What's your answer for your 5th question? I know you had something.
No, dude, honestly, you took it. It'd be cutting someone off and not waving. That is it drives me like, I'm getting mad thinking about it. Like unnecessarily mad. And it's such a small thing. But when I let someone in and I don't get a wave, like I'm that guy who sits there and fantasizes about rear-ending them. Like it drives me mental.
Yeah, there's so many traffic ones. I've said this one before, and I don't like. You're driving down. There's 2 lanes. We're heading north. A 3rd lane opens up to turn left. When people don't signal to turn into that lane, now it's a designated left turning lane, and then they turn on their blinker. It's like, so when you're changing lanes and we don't know what's happening, you don't let me know. But when you have to turn, then you decide to let me know you're turning. Why not both? Why not neither? I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I kind of like this one from Dean. He says, guys, I'm 52, never smoked in my life. I would gladly smoke just outside of a public entrance to never have to deal with that again. There you go, Dean. You're in the spirit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
good one, Dean.
Do you know why we won World War II, Dean? Cigarettes. Everyone was smoking. Everyone had tons of energy. Now look, nobody smokes and everyone's so tired.
You need to rewatch Oppenheimer.
That's why we won.
Cool to live in a time where we didn't know the effects of smoking.
Oppenheimer's a great one, Declan. They're smoking so much they invented a nuclear bomb. Unbelievable.
I haven't seen that yet.
Really? Did you watch the Barbie movie on opening weekend? Is that why?
No, I did go see that in theater.
I hit him
No
back.
wife.
Well, yeah, I hit him back to back same night, opening weekend, opening day. Actually,
Huge plays.
Yeah,
Huge.
I was so into Barbenheimer.
What'd you like best?
Well, I liked Oppenheimer a lot better.
It's not surprising. Although
Barbie it was okay, but it was a little. I didn't know what direction it was going to go, and I didn't love it. I'll say that. There's no Oppenheimer.
We'll ask Spec what he thinks next.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a big Barbie fan.
Very quickly, Don E, who donated $500 to the month of giving here already, has 4 tickets to tonight's Golden Bears Nate Ooks game down at the Drake. 4 tickets. If you want to go for free, just text in your name and email. We'll give them away in the next 5 minutes. Name, email to 1-833-401-1440. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440 and Oilers Nation Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Booster Juice. This holiday season, give the gift of Booster Juice. Buy a $30 gift card and get a free regular size smoothie for yourself. Gift giving never tasted so sweet. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update, the Edmonton Elks have agreed to terms on a 3-year extension with quarterback Ray Ford. The Oilers have acquired forward Jacob Perreault from the Canadiens in exchange for defenseman Noel Hoffenmeyer, and the Rangers and Igor Shesterkin have agreed to a contract extension for 8 years with an 11.5 AAV. 6 games today in the NHL. It all gets going right away here. Washington and Toronto and Seattle, New Jersey kicking off the action. The NBA with 7 games in the league tonight. 1 game getting going just around the corner as well. Orlando in Philadelphia. Other news in the sporting world, the Oil Kings in action tomorrow in the Dub. They'll be in Medicine Hat to take on the Tigers with a 7 p.m. puck drop. In the BCHL, Spruce Grove playing host to Okotoks tonight with a 7 p.m. puck drop out at the Grand Pure Arena. And Sherwood Park also at it at an 8 p.m. puck drop for them out in Penticton. Golden Bears hockey tonight and tomorrow against Nate. Tonight at the Drake at 7 p.m. Tomorrow at the Nate Arena at 7 p.m. as well. Other news, Jacob Trouba has been traded to the Anaheim Ducks per sources, and the Rays are signing former Blue Jays catcher Danny Jansen to a 1-year deal worth $8.5 million. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Let's rock. Edmonton's biggest New Year's Eve party is at On the Rise.
Featuring Edmonton's #1 party band, the Barkhells. The Barkhells.
Get ready to dance the night away as we ring in 2025 in style at OTR.
Tickets include a 3-course meal, party favors, and bubbly at midnight.
This party sells out every year.
Oh, and if you don't have anyone to kiss at midnight, Marco is always available.
OTR's New Year's Eve party.
Tickets at ontherockYEG.com.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more. Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 noodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood.
Throw a load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk, family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
For over 65 years, Denham Ford has delivered the customer service and value that keeps Albertans moving for work and play. And that tradition continues with the final year-end 2024 clear-out. Enjoy low rates or thousands in year-end savings on every vehicle, including F-150, Bronco, and Super Duty. That's the value you've come to expect from where cars always cost less. Denham Ford on Highway 2A in Wetaskiwin or at denhamford.ca.
Cars cost less in Wetaskiwin.
A career in the public
Declan here
service is
actually
better in
covers, guest
Alberta.
host today.
Better
That's okay.
wages, lower taxes, better job opportunities with our thriving economy,
Good.
better
Good. All
chances
right,
for
well, where you want-
advancement,
Yeah,
plus a
no
better
doubt. I'll
future
throw it
with
on
new
the
investment in healthcare and education. Public service. It's better here. Learn more and discover new career opportunities in the public sector at alberta.ca/better here. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We are back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Cougar, and Keith the Great with you here, keeping us on track. The Jason Gregor Show is brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. You can use promo code Gregor50 with your deposit. You get a $50 free play. And tonight, Lotto Max worth $33 million. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. We'll quickly give you an update on our pyramid of giving as we are so close to reaching our goal today. And if we get there, GS Construction will match. The total would be $7,500. That would make us up to $15,000 today for the holiday hamper. We've got two $100 spots open, two $200 spots open, and one $500 spot. I know there's some good business owners out there. You want to get your company a little shout out? Jump on that $500 spot. Let's do it. Let's wrap this up sooner than later and make GS Construction match it. Turan and the group down there. I know they want to do it. So let's get them there. Two $200, two $100, and one $500 donation. Right now, though, let's get to the Spec Report with Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by the great folks at GS Construction. They specialize in underground infrastructure. They make your life more enjoyable with running water and indoor plumbing. They're the grinders of construction. GS Construction. Spec, good evening. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, doing pretty well. You keeping her between the ditches here, Connor, or what?
Well, we're trying to. You know how it goes sometimes. We fall a little behind on the clock, but it's been later, so we're happy to get you on now, Spec.
Hey, I got to throw a shout out. I was over at Sports Central yesterday, and they're running out of skates. Anybody out there got this weekend? You're maybe buying some Christmas presents, doing whatever. We need skates, especially size 4 to 7. And we need pucks, if you can believe it. I guess we give pucks away to every kid we give equipment to. We're running out of pucks. So if you got any in your garage, every police station, every fire station, United Cycle, Source for Sports in St. Albert, a whole bunch of places you can go to our website. That's our drop-off. Although all the drop-off spots, you can find a list on our website. But anyone who can help, we can sure you some help at Sports Central.
SportsCentral.org if you want to get all the information there. Good plug. Spec, speaking of good, how about that return from Zach Hyman last night? Maybe a little motivated from the Team Canada announcement. Probably just happy to get back out there. But he looked very good in the Oilers' victory.
Yeah, I think certainly talking to Zach after the game, what's lost here is everyone's like, well, you only had 3 goals. You must have been playing lousy. But now you're playing good. and I think what's lost was he wasn't playing that bad. Like, he wasn't scoring. They weren't going in. There's no doubt 3 goals in the first quarter of the season is not enough. But he had a ton of chances. He really wasn't playing that bad. Then he got hurt, and he came back, and did he play much different? I'm not sure, but the puck went in twice last night. So, we've made a lot of noise about support scoring around these Oilers the last 20 games or so. If he starts scoring, he's pretty much their primary, behind McDavid and Draisaitl, he's their primary goal scorer here. So they could sure use some production from Zach Hyman. They got some last night.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was it. I mean, the lack of goals is one thing, but I don't think anybody out there was saying Zach Hyman, isn't providing energy or a weak spot,
they were.
right?
They were. He's playing lousy. He's only got 3 goals. What the hell's wrong? You know the deal.
Well, I mute a lot of people on Twitter, so maybe that keeps it away from me. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you're getting the constant level of effort from Zach Hyman, and that's never going to go away. The production, the opportunities, those are what you like to see. The Oilers pick up a big win. How about tomorrow? It should be a fun one. We got a pair of tickets up for auction right now. People want to get in on it. 1-833-401-1440. Jason Gregor's tickets, actually. Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, back in town. What do you expect their reception to be when they come back to the Ice District?
I don't know. It's probably a mix. I don't see why. This is one of those ones I would look at and think about. If either of those guys was your son, especially Broberg, and they said you can make $1.5 million in Edmonton or 4.6 in St. Louis, what would you tell your son to do?
Get that money.
Or Holloway, who doubled his salary. I think I'd have told my son would be in St. Louis right now too, if he was asking for my advice. So why you would boo those players, I have no idea. You could boo the Oilers. You could boo. I mean, Ken Holland was the presiding general manager. You could boo him. I think the guy who deserves the most boos, and I just wrote it on Sportsnet.ca, my column just went up. I think that the coaching staff that presided, that somehow never saw a defenseman in Broberg until it was too late. That's Woodcroft. His defensive coaches too. Maybe Dave Manson and Mark Stewart were banging the table for Broberg to play more. If they were, they didn't convince their head coach. But somehow that coaching staff had Broberg for 2.5 seasons or whatever it was, and by the time they figured out he could play, it was too late. He was already probably, his agent was cooking up this deal. So if you're going to boo somebody, boo Jay Woodcroft is my thinking. What about you?
Oh, I mean, we talked about it over the summer, and it provided us 3 weeks of content. And I know I went full circle. I said, let him walk. You need the money. No, you got to pay him. He's got too much upside. Could be a steal of a deal in a year for that $4.5 million with Philip Broberg. And that's kind of where I landed. I thought they'd do it. I thought they would keep both of those players after they traded Cody Ceci and created a little more space, and didn't do it. Both guys look great. And, we had, who did we have on earlier? Andy Strickland talking, and he didn't mean to rub it in a couple of times. So he's like, I just don't get how the Oilers let him walk. It didn't make sense. And for the St. Louis Blues, good on them for taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it was it's a long process. I would say to you, but by the time July 1st comes along and that offer sheet rolls in, it's too late for the Oilers. They've already blown it. They've already misidentified the player. They've already taken too long to sign them. They've already put themselves. I don't see how they possibly could have fit. Who are you getting rid of? They're running a 21-man roster every night now.
Mm-hmm.
How you tell me how we're clearing $5.6 million to have Broberg playing? What do you do? Who goes out right now so you can play tomorrow night, be cap compliant, and have 20 guys? How you doing that with all of a sudden the defenseman, instead of Emberson, who's making $1 million, you got a guy making $5.6 million. How you doing that?
Exactly. Oh, you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't do it. So the mistakes were long made before, I would say to you by probably New Year's last year, it was probably irreparable, because I would think that both the guys are in the minors. So if you go to Holloway's agent and you go to Broberg's agent and they're sitting in Baco, you go, hey, let's sign a deal. Their agents go, we're not signing with you. We got no leverage here. Our two guys are sitting in the minors. Broberg or Holloway was hurt a bunch. So they go, no, we're not signing anything. We're going to sign something at the end of the season. Talk to us when the season's over. Well, now the season ends. Broberg's a regular defenseman in the 3rd and 4th round. Holloway's had a pretty nice playoff, and that offer sheet's already cooking. Their agents are saying, hey, just hang on. We're not signing anything yet. They got this. They cooked this thing up. It's too late. It's done. It's over. So people say they should have signed him last January. It's too late to sign him last January.
Absolutely. And now over 20 minutes a night for Broberg, 15 for Holloway, tied for second on the Blues in team scoring. It should be fun on Saturday
Holloway,
night.
you can find Holloway's a good player. Hard skating, hard charging, middle six left winger. It's a shame to lose him. I get it, but that's not going to. Podkolzin might turn into that guy, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's not going to kill you. Broberg's the one. Broberg is the crippling asset loss that somehow the coaching staff and Ken Holland here, who should have told his coaching staff to play this kid, they couldn't figure out that a 6'4", 215-pound Swedish defenseman that skates like the wind, they couldn't figure out he should play. How that coaching staff screwed that up. I'm sitting in the press box going, what don't I see? Turns out there was nothing we didn't see.
You and a few others. It's interesting. Right. One of the guys, I guess, who was brought into the Oilers' middle six to try to fill in some of the holes was Jeff Skinner. Had kind of a vintage Jeff Skinner goal last night. What did you make of his performance, and do you think he can keep it going a little bit longer here?
Yeah, he's same with Kevin this morning, or I guess it wasn't Kevin this morning because he's on the road. But anyway, Brandon, I think you got to have a little patience with Jeff Skinner. I haven't been a giant fan of his first quarter of the season. There's no doubt. No one has. But this is a guy who's always been a top line, top power play guy. And he comes here and he's nowhere near the top power play unit. He's never going to be. And we all know the second power play unit gets like 15 to 30 seconds of here if they're lucky. And it takes a while to adapt. It's hard to be that guy and all of a sudden get less minutes, get less prime minutes. And he hasn't handled it well. He hasn't had a great start. But I think we're seeing a guy who's figuring it out. He's not pouting. He's playing on the third line, and he's working hard. He's playing hard. He's checking hard. I've noticed the last 7 or 8 games, he's looking pretty good. Goal goes in last night. At some point, you're going to get an injury up top. He's probably going to get another shot with McDavid or Draisaitl, but I would say give him a little time. He looks okay to me. I think he can be better, but don't give up on the player yet. I think there's probably still something there.
Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz sitting in for Gregor. Oh, what did you make of the Jacob Trouba deal as the Rangers captain goes to the Anaheim Ducks?
Yeah, that's crazy, eh? Like it's just like a feud between player. Whoever saw a team and their captain break up like that, it's like a divorce.
It's very strange, Spec. I can't think of a captain and a team fighting like this ever.
I know.
And there wasn't much drama leading up to it with Trouba and the Rangers either. Like they had seemingly a pretty steady relationship.
Well, I mean, leading up to when? Like it was in the summer that the news came out that the Rangers were trying to move him. I think we can figure it out. They want to sign Shesterkin, but they can't afford to give him what they want while they're paying Trouba. But it's hard. You spread the word that we're looking to trade our captain. It's getting out. And then Trouba, by all accounts, was checked out. You got a captain that's checked out all season. That's ridiculous. And now you're trading him for not much. What about the player that goes the other way? Did anyone look into this guy? Can he play?
He's not getting a whole lot of respect in this one. It's all Trouba talk today.
Yeah. I mean, it's a draft pick and some player that I don't know if the guy can play or not. It might just be a contract swap. But listen, the Rangers are happy. They just gave the player away. I don't know what happened with Trouba. I always liked him. Now he becomes that player that, you'd like him if he was making $4 million, but he's making $8 million. So you move him to Anaheim. I mean, I feel a little, Trouba was on a good team. Now he's not going to get near the playoffs here for how long? Anaheim's a million miles away, but it was a weird one. That Rangers team's got a lot of stuff going on, don't they?
They do. Obviously, Shesterkin gets paid today, so it makes sense why they made the move. Chris Kreider, could he be the next guy out? Hypothetically, if Anaheim were to maybe eat some of that money and move him, would you be interested if you're a team heading into the playoffs?
Trouba?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say no. I think I got to watch him play and I got to see what he's got left here. Like, I don't know if, you know what? I haven't seen him enough. So I want to ask you this, like his play deteriorated in New York. I think everyone's going to agree on that this last couple of years. Did it deteriorate because he's just gone over the edge and he doesn't have it anymore? He's slowed down. I think he's been relatively healthy. Or does it deteriorate because it's just not working? Is he done with the coach? Is he done with the GM? Are they done with him? Is there something, they tried to trade him. He didn't want to go, remember, because his wife is a doctor in New York. So he told him, I'm not leaving. That can affect your play. So I'd have to know, you guys, how much player is left there. If you could tell me that Anaheim's going to eat half the salary and I'm getting the Jake Trouba that's as good as he at one point was, I would absolutely consider taking that player. But I have to scout that guy, and I got to see what he's got here. Do you guys know the answer to that question?
He's nasty. He's mean.
Well, he is. I love the way he hits, for sure. I mean, sometimes it's illegal, but you know what? Whatever. But those hitters, guys. I mean, I watched Brian Marchment in his career, and in his prime, oh boy, keep your head up. But then by the end, he lost a step, and now he was missing all those hits, and now he was hurting everybody. And in today's game, and look at Trouba, he's suspended a little bit here, and he's landed some headshots that you get a guy for the playoffs. He lands a headshot, he's out for 6 games. You want that guy? I don't think you want that guy.
Switching it up a bit, Spec, what did you make? Any insights on Connor McDavid, his 1,000-point ceremony there with Leonard the dog and Lauren and his parents? Those 1,000 points went by in a flash, didn't they?
It's crazy, hey?
Oh.
I mean, he will get 2,000 points, right? He's going to get 2,000 points. Like doesn't he turn 28 in January?
Yep.
Okay, so he's got 12 years left. He's played 10. I mean, he'll get 2,000 points. That's how much I got out of that. I don't know. What do you think? Like, look at last night. He was so much the best player in the world last night. Like, he was so smooth and so good. And there was, that one goal he should have had that didn't go in. Remember the guy put his, who was the number? Severson knocked that puck. It was going in. Like, he could have easily had 5, 6, 7 points last night. He was so good. Just a pleasure to watch, eh?
It's amazing how fast, to me at least, those 1,000 games go by, because the arena being built, the rookie season in the old arena, and then he just kind of, once we hit this playoff stretch here where they've made the playoffs several seasons in a row, you almost take him for granted on some nights that he's going to get 4 assists, right? Wow, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's interesting watching social media. It's interesting watching on nights where even Connor McDavid has a lot of points. There's still people that are wanting more from him and from Leon, and they're doing all that can reasonably be expected, I think.
Well, and be careful. Like, I come from that generation that probably admitted that we took Wayne Gretzky for granted. Like, oh, Gretz only had 3 points. Whatever. His standard was like 5 or 6. You started to pay attention. So, I don't know. I don't know who you're following on Twitter that's telling you that Leon and Connor have to do more, but I must have blocked those idiots by now, because don't tell me those guys have to do more.
Well, I think Oilers fans are looking for answers, right? This season wasn't off to necessarily the start it was last year when they were biblically horrific, but they are looking for things to hang losses on. And I don't want to take Connor McDavid for granted in the next 1,000 points, right? You just want to make sure you're appreciating him every night, because it is such a remarkable thing that we have a player on this pace that's an Oiler.
Oh my God, I couldn't agree more. And don't forget about Draisaitl in that.
Yep.
Like, look at how well he plays. I know I go through the remainder, whatever, I like to say my career's in garbage time. whatever I got left, I vowed that when I go to the rink, I'm not just going to sort of not watch Connor McDavid play every night and forget that he's on the team. Or, I was a younger guy, and I would go to the Oilers games, and I was working like at the Gateway, the U of A newspaper, and had an Oilers pass. It was so awesome. The Oilers, it's mid-'80s. It's the best team that ever played the sport. And I would go to the game and just watch Gretzky on binoculars for the whole shift and just follow him around the rink. And now I found myself doing it with McDavid, just to watch him play without the puck. What does he do to shake that guy? How does he pull that puck off the boards? And just the little things he does. He's such a fantastic player. course, we see the points, but there's even more. It's awesome, boys. We are so blessed in this town, right? To go from Gretzky to McDavid. You could be in Calgary and go from Joel Otto to, Jonathan Huberdeau, right?
What a town.
Come on, boys.
Except for us that missed Gretzky and had a long decade of darkness, but it was worth it. Led to McDavid. And I'll say this. I watched Oilers games with my friends, did post games for a long time with Dean Millard and Struddy. Sometimes we would just laugh and smile like, what did he just do? It's ridiculous. Final thing for you, Spec, Urho Vakanainen. He was a 18th overall pick back in 2017, 6'2", 205 left shot defenseman. He's appeared in 141 career games, 1 goal, 24 assists. So that's who the Rangers got.
Oh boy. So you said 17 he was drafted in first round?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's
25.
He's 25 years old and he scored 1 NHL goal. So he's not going to play. Hey, listen, they dumped the salary and Anaheim dumped the contract and life goes on. It was a crazy trade and a wild day, man. Let's see what happens tomorrow when St. Louis comes down.
Absolutely going to be great, Spec. Thanks for doing this. We'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, boys, have a great weekend.
See you, Spec.
Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Speaking of the fine folks at GS, we're getting closer to making them pay. Well, donate $7,500 to the holiday hamper. We had a text come in here from, was it Pip? Pip? I'm going to scroll down here. Lots of texts actually coming in during that last segment. Said, hey guys, you got that $500 spot open? We said, yes, sir. Actually, Declan said it. He said, nice. One-time builders will take that spot. So 500's filled. 1,000 is filled. All we need is 2 $100 donations and 2 $200 donations, and we've got it. So if you want to be the hero here, you're waiting because you wanted to slide in and look cool, be one of the final bids, now's your time to do it. 1-833-401-1440. If we can do it before low tide comes on the show, he'll sing you a song.
That special song.
He'll sing a song. 1-833-401-1440. Call or text, get those bids or the donation in, and we'll be there. Let's hope we can do it quickly. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Also, Oilers Nation YouTube and Facebook brought to you by playalberta.ca.
Checking off your gift list can go more smoothly when you give smoothies. From now till December 31st, buy a $30 Booster Juice gift card and gift yourself with any regular size smoothie for free. Try the new salted caramel smoothie made with vanilla oat beverage, vanilla frozen yogurt, and decadent caramel. It pairs magically with the salted caramel booster ball, bursting with Score toffee bites, cinnamon, maple syrup, cashew butter, and more. Happiest of holidays from Booster Juice. Download the Booster Rewards app today.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Weather forecast? Ugh. Savings forecast? Cha-ching. Save up to $225 on a set of 4 Select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 at Fountain Tire until December 14th. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Black Friday continues at the Brick. Hurry in and save up to $3,000 off big screen TVs. Plus, save up to 65% off genuine leather sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Save up to 40% off mattresses and up to 25% off bedroom, dining, and home entertainment furniture. Plus, the more you buy, the more you save, with up to $300 off select brand name major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See thebrick.com for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodle-noodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodle-noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and oodle-oodle-oodle.ca. Oodle-noodle.
Yes, I'd like a double Schwab, please.
Excuse me?
And upsize the Schwabs. Can I get a diet Schwab with that?
Please pull around, sir.
It's get the truck out of here at Schwab's. Right now, get a 2024 GMC or Chevy 1500 Crew Cab loaded with extras for just $54,995, or a 2024 GMC 1500 Crew Cab Elevation starting at $56,900. Plus, save up to $17,000 on the Sierra Denali and Chevy High Country. Satisfy that craving at Schwab Chevrolet Buick GMC in Leduc.
What would it sound like if Alberta breathed a collective sigh of relief? Maybe like, or a little like. We're about to find out, because Alberta drivers are finally getting some relief on car insurance. Learn how the new Care First model is bringing you more benefits, faster care, and lower cost premiums at alberta.ca/care-first. That's better. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. The Canada-wide clearance, it's on now and it's at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on a 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Elevation. See more at gmcoffers.ca.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger, and Kate the Great with you, keeping you on track as we head towards the weekend. Over the weekend, Oilers in action, of course. Tomorrow morning, got the Saturday Sports set up with a cast of many, and then we got pregame coverage at 7 in the evening with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson. So make sure you keep it locked here over the weekend on Sports 1440, the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Big jackpot tonight, $33 million. Get your ticket at playalberta.ca for the Lotto Max. And we are coming to you live from the Ewell Studios in West Edmonton Mall. Check them out, ewell.ca, for all of your electrical needs 24/7, capital, region, and beyond in the province of Alberta. We do have a bid coming in here for Gregor's tickets to the Blues-Oilers game tomorrow, just $200. So if you want to get in on that, that's a pretty good price. Row 17, seat 12, the end that the Oil attacked twice, I believe. Yes, because I've used those seats before. Just $200. So we need a little bit of a bump up, but great value there. And how about this? The month of giving continues on here. I said we need 200 and 100. Well, Randy A getting back into the action. He says he'll take both of the $200 spots. So we are now $200 away. We need two of you to donate $100 to the holiday hamper. You let us know at 1-833-401-1440. We'll pass the info along to the volunteers there. They'll reach out to you, and then we're there. And then GS Construction is going to donate another $7,500. Match us. That'll plus up to $15,000 today for the holiday hamper. So you want to text in 1-833-401-1440. Let's do it. Let's get it done. I said if we did it before our next guest, he would sing you a song. We didn't quite get there, but maybe we can do it before he wraps up. It is the Oil Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease a Volvo XC90 from 0% and save $4,500. Also save up to $12,000 on remaining 2024 demo vehicles only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. We are joined by Alan Mitchell. LT, happy belated birthday. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, no problem at all. I'm glad to do it. This isn't a middle of the night interview like I do with Walker. I'm actually awake for this one. It's cool.
Yeah, like when they ask you to do that in the middle of the night, what do you do? I assume you're already a few teas and melatonins in.
Well, I do. I take my milk up Indonesia. I put on my Winnie the Pooh pajamas, and and then I've got a heated blanket and have some cocoa. It's good.
Sounds amazing. LT. Before we get to the oil, how about Trey Ford? 3-year extension with the green and gold. Quite the commitment to him. You got to think going forward with a new regime, he will be the guy under center.
Yeah, and it's like I think they'll had Lalji on earlier in the week, and he said they'll probably get somebody like a veteran support player, which is great. And I think that Trey Ford is a player, like he's a really great young quarterback, but he's raw and he's going to improve as the years go by. The key is playing him. You have to play the guy because otherwise he's going to die on the vine. And I think that the commitment they made today was clearly a reflection of that on both sides, because he would have had other options, possibly not as good as this one, but he is committed to this team. They're committed to him. I know the fan base, people I talk to, our Elks fans, will be thrilled by this. It's a really strong move early by a management and coaching team that appear to be on the same page and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued for this one.
LT, you're so good at providing context for what we're experiencing in the present time. And I'm just wondering your thoughts on witnessing Connor McDavid improbably, first of all, existing on Earth, and then amazingly being the Oilers captain, and then putting up 1,000 points in his career with that ceremony. What can you say?
Well, it's like Taylor Swift is playing in Vancouver tonight, I believe, last concert on her tour. And she is like maybe the most famous person on the planet because she impacts so many people musically. And the entertainment level for fans of music and that type of music would be like historic, like when I saw the Rolling Stones live. And for Connor McDavid, for hockey fans, when you see him, especially live, but even on television, he is like that kind of outer marker, elite, top drawer entertainment. And just to watch him play, hockey is so damn hard. You're doing everything at fast speed on skates. You can crash into the boards. There's danger everywhere. And for him to be able to, he makes it look, his crossovers are like, they're inspiring. I want to run around the block when I see that guy skating down the ice. I can't, but I wish I could. I can't believe what an entertaining player he is. And it's all just natural ability and high hockey IQ. We're watching one of the all-time greats, and it is among the greatest entertainment available in the world today. Connor McDavid on the ice at Rogers Place. It is really exceptional.
I've been a reader of lowtide.ca for a long time, LT. And I can remember back in the day where I'm like, Lowtide will figure a way out of this mess. He'll be able to cobble together this ragtag bunch of Oilers and get us out of the decade of darkness. And I remember one time specifically, you were espousing the virtues of Martin Marincin. And I was like, this guy's got it. LT says so. It's insane that this same franchise has been able to bring us Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl the way that they have.
Well, it is. And it's such a different era now. I feel badly for that era because I think that Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, they could have had a far better outcome. But the problem was managers kept changing and coaches kept changing, and they could never get any momentum. And the one thing I'll say that as the years have gone by with Daryl Cates, he's hired established general managers. This would be the third one in Stan Bowman, and they've edged ever closer to the Stanley Cup, which I think we all assume is going to be won here by this team this year or maybe next. But the one thing I'll say is that the day that this team won the draft lottery, it changed everybody. I wrote a blog every day for years. The atmosphere was like through the roof. And a year before that, Craig McTavish said, I'm going to draft this guy, Leon Draisaitl. And I think sometimes we look past that because he's so brilliant and McDavid's so brilliant. And you sometimes maybe say, well, Leon's part of his greatness is because of McDavid. But that middle era, McTavish and then Chiarelli and Stu McGregor and then Bob Green, those scouting directors, they really did deliver. Now, drafting Connor McDavid was pretty easy. I imagine scouting him was a joy, but they got it done. And the fans, I always think about the fans who would drive through the cold to watch Ales Hemsky and sort of made sure this team survived. There was a time maybe they were on their way to Houston, but fans made it happen. And I think the reward is McDavid. And that's a pretty nice, McDavid and Draisaitl is a pretty nice payoff for fans.
If one day we get to the end and it's like the movie The Matrix and they tell us that it's all a simulation, they're going to tell me, like, do you really think Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl were real and came to your hometown and gave you a new Gretzky and Messi? I'm like, you're right. It was a simulation.
It's kind of surreal, to be honest with you. When I go back and I think about the the day my daughter said, "Dad, can I start a blog?" And I said no, because I didn't know what it was. And then I figured it out and I started one. And then I think I know it was you who put me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and really because of the way the world is and the way the internet is, there's a whole industry that's sort of grown up, and you're a part of that. I'm a part of that. And it does seem a little surreal even now, but I think the ultimate will be when they win the Stanley Cup. And we'll have to, when that happens, everybody who's been through the wars at all the different blogs and outlets will have to get together, because it's been I'll say it's a sweet ride, but often it hasn't been, But if they win the Stanley Cup, it'll all be worthwhile, and I suspect they will.
I almost feel like we documented the Decade of Darkness better than we have this current era. And maybe that has to do with it's easier to complain about stuff than it is to be overly positive. But I almost feel like we're taking the Connor and Leon era almost for granted, the sense that it isn't getting the corresponding amount of positivity that the Decade of Darkness generated of negativity, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think part of it is that and I see it on the comments on various, websites, including mine, but others as well. It feels like Oilers fans, the Decade of Darkness sort of put them in a position where every game, every night is Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. So if they lose 1-0 to Vegas, it's a tragedy. And I'm like, that was a really good game, and I know they didn't win, but there was a lot of good things that came out of that. And I do think that the enjoyment level is different. And I have two theories. Number one, it's the Decade of Darkness and everybody's traumatized. And then the other one is that sports betting may have just made things more, count more. So that if you lose 1-0 and you bet the other way, it really hurts. I'm not sure which is which, but I do agree with you. I think it was, I don't miss it, but there was a time when June, the draft was the biggest day on the calendar for Edmonton Oilers fans. I'm glad it's different now, but in a way, those were innocent times and more fun times, because you could dare to dream. Now there's just, there's basically the fear of another nightmare and not winning it. When they win, I suspect that Oiler fans, a lot of them, instead of celebrating, they'll just be a giant sigh of relief. And that's too bad, because I remember the 5 Stanleys the Oilers won, and I admit to being inebriated at least 4, but I had a great time. I really enjoyed them, and I hope people do.
I remember this year, LT Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals, second intermission. There was people on Twitter being like, Ken Holland needs to stand down in disgrace. And I'm watching this on social. I'm like, we're one period away from winning the Stanley Cup.
I know, and it's like Holland, he made missteps. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the offer sheets really didn't happen on his watch, but they really did. But he got them so close to the Stanley Cup, and I think that there's a rationale like, well, any fool could have done it and won 5, and that may well be true. But the NHL today is so much different than the NHL when the Oilers won their first 5, and they have had a terrible time. They didn't have a very good team at all when McDavid was drafted. They traded a lot of that 2015 draft away, which is unfortunate because there was some great talent there. And they've been trading away picks since. And it's not a terribly efficient way to try, but I think they've sort of set it up like it's going to be, the goal is to win 1 Stanley Cup. And if they'd done it a little differently, not trading all those picks, they might have had several. But if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. And at the very least, this is the most entertaining Oilers team of the century, I think, last year's and this year's. And I think they will win the Stanley.
I cannot wait for them to win a cup one day in the hot take machine. They should have 3. What took so long?
Connor will have the cup raised above his head. I'll be crying, by the way, when this happens, but somebody's going to tweet, they can't do it again next year, and the cup will still be over his head.
That's it. That is exactly it.
The thing that I look forward to is that because I do think that in a way there's like 4 or 5 different generations of Oilers fans. There's old guys like me, there's young guys like you two, and then there's even younger people who are just like they got interested around the time of McDavid. And so this is going to be a multi-generational, guys like me will be home putting our teeth in the jar by the time you guys get partying. But the Stanley Cup night that happens, it's going to be several layers of just complete over the top joy in this city. And as you know, when Edmonton is celebrating about the Oilers, it's a blast. It's a pure blast.
Yeah, it's mayhem. It is mayhem. LT?
I have on just
One
want
more.
I want to end with this. On the wall at Wanye Manor, I have a reproduction of the newspaper, the Journal's headline in 1984 when they won. And the byline says, "The best thing ever to happen here." And there's a guy celebrating on Jasper Ave and 109th where the pint is now. And he's hanging out of a convertible. And the look of happiness on this guy's face, like that guy's going to be me one day. I'm going to be the guy. I look forward to this cup party you spoke of earlier. I'll try to participate in all 3 generations at once.
Oh man, it'll be like I don't. This town, nothing will get done for a week and a half. Like 10 days of just pure bedlam, where you know the cup will go missing, and people will go missing, and people will say, "Where's Larry? He hasn't shown up for a month." It'll be wild.
I wonder the effect it would have. I mean, we're speculating. It's Friday afternoon. Do what we want. A guy like Connor, who's so driven, like a Kobe or a Michael Jordan almost, would he be relieved to win the cup, or is he immediately resetting for the next season because he's just that singularly minded? What would you speculate?
Oh no, I think he would be. I think he'd be overjoyed and happy, and he probably would be a little bit relieved. But he is so competitive, and I honestly, I'd never say this out loud, but I think the fact that Jack Eichel won before him really drives him. Not that he's like jealous or in any way, feeling like he's earned it and he hasn't gotten it yet. Although he has earned it and he hasn't gotten it yet. But I think that drive, because he is so competitive, I think that drives him even more. So I think he'd celebrate. He'd have a wonderful time. But then by mid-July, you'd be hearing reports about him working out in Ontario, getting ready for once again to win, to make it 2 in a row. And whenever it happens, it's going to be a blast. It truly is, because we're watching history. We're watching. I don't know what records he's going to break. I don't know if he's going to win more scoring championships or whatever. I know that he'll be in the record book, and I know we're witnessing greatness in real time. And it's hard to quantify that, except we can say that's what it is. It's greatness in real time, and we get to watch it. And my God, am I ever glad we do.
It is quite fantastic. LT, have a great birthday weekend. Don't get too crazy. The Oilers haven't won a cup, and we'll see you Monday.
All right. Sounds good, boys. Be good. Have a great weekend.
CLT.
There you go. Oil Report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. As we were doing that interview, we did it. Mark coming in, he says, I'll take the final 2 $100 spots. So we have filled it. We have 15 $100 donations, 10 $200 donations, 4 $500 donations, and 2 $1,000 donations. And I got a text I want to get to in a second here. We'll do that when we return. It is the Jason Gregor Show. And with this, hey, GS Construction, open up the checkbook. You're writing a $7,500 check to the holiday hamper. We raised $15,000 and more, maybe. We'll see. Maybe there's more rolling in here. We can take more. We don't need to stop now. We can keep it going. So if you want to donate, do so. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation's Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
On the Rocks, everyone's on the nice list this December. Even you, Sierra. We saw you shaking your ass on the dance floor.
Until December 31st, purchase $100 worth of gift cards at OTR and get a bonus $20 GC for free.
That's like 10 free hot dogs on Monday.
Or 10 free tacos on Taco Tuesday.
How about 30 free wings on Wednesdays?
Or even 4 free drinks during happy hour.
However you divide it up, it's $20 free at On the Rocks. Calm down, Sierra.
On the Rocks, Jasper Ave and 118.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
When interest rates are low, that's a good time to buy a vehicle. And 0% means it's a great time to buy. Right now, St. Albert Dodge can set you up with 0% financing on hundreds of vehicles. Virtually all new 2024 models: Jeep Compass, Wrangler, Grand Cherokee, and Wagoneer. 0%. Dodge Durango and Hornet. 0%. Ram 1500, 2500, and 3500 trucks, all as low as 0%. Why pay interest? Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
For years now, we've been warning Edmontonians on the hazards of our stormwater facilities. While they may appear to look like still ponds, there is moving water beneath the surface, which makes the ice dangerously. The unpredictability of stormwater facilities makes them treacherously unsafe for all winter activities, even walking. So think twice. Don't go on the ice. A safety message from EPCOR.
The Canada-wide clearance is on at GMC. Get a $7,500 cash credit on 2024 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab elevation models. With Sierra's 13.4-inch diagonal premium GMC infotainment system with Google built-in compatibility, available off-road package with hill descent control, plus an available 3-liter Duramax diesel engine, you can take the road less traveled and try new things, like fishing or whitewater rafting. I should have gone fishing. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers presents a massive 3-day unreserved heavy equipment auction at their Nisku site December 11th to 13th, 8 a.m. Live on-site and online. On offer core construction heavy equipment, trucks, trailers, nearly every industry covered. Register to bid online. It's free. Priority bids on now. On-site viewing starts December 7th. Timed auction on December 8th. Demand for equipment is strong. Contact your local territory manager to consign. More at rbauction.com.
Employee pricing is on now at GMC. Get up to $10,104 off select 2024 Sierra 2500 AT4 models. Make loading easier than ever with the world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate. Make hauling easier than ever with up to 14 available camera views, including transparent trailer view. And make finding tunes easier than ever with a class-leading 13.4-inch diagonal center touchscreen. Yeah, let's get to work. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help, and learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We are back. Final segment of the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio till 9 a.m. tomorrow of the Saturday Sports Setup. Not sure who will be in. I got to think Brandon, Kate, Declan, Donovan, or a combination of the four. Also, pregame coverage with Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson tomorrow night before Oilers taking on the St. Louis Blues. Gregor was auctioning off his tickets for the Gregor Fund. We're up to $250. So if you want to get in on that, still a steal of a deal. Love to get to at least $300. That would put a suit on a young man or woman for the upcoming Gregor's grad season. So if we can get up to $300, that would be awesome. Let me know if you want to get it. It's 2 tickets and the Oilers attack twice. We are now up to $275 from Loop. So if we get to 300, I think we'll be satisfied. 275. We're so close. Let's get to 300 though. That would be terrific. 2 tickets and Oilers attack twice tomorrow night when they take on the St. Louis Blues. And how about this one? Fabian coming in with one last donation. $1,000.
At the wire?
At the wire. So Fabian comes in with $1,000. That puts us up to $8,500. If my math is right. We could go a little higher. If people want to get a donation, that's cool. So combining that with GS Construction, $7,500, $16,000.
That's amazing.
That's a pretty good day.
Dad's not even here.
No, he's not even here.
Oh.
If he was here, you would have. Yeah,
kids are okay.
If he was here, you would have donated like $6,000.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
Just from him telling you to do so.
Ordering me.
Exactly. Pretty cool day. Well, let's wrap it up with Wanye's World. We don't have too much time, but what's on your mind, Wanye?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that was an interesting chat with LT. I really don't. I don't know how if you felt it yesterday at the ceremony for 1,000 games, but it was really a moment in time where like Connor McDavid is no longer a young man in the NHL. He's a guy at peak power, and I just was struck by like we're so fortunate to have watched this go down, and it doesn't seem to me that like there's necessarily as much appreciation night in, night out. LT kind of talked about like the Oilers fans of the 80s took Gretzky for granted. And I remember thinking like that's before my time. Like that's so crazy You would see Gretzky night in, night out and not appreciate it. But it's almost like having like a Lamborghini in your garage. One day you go and you forget it's a Lamborghini because you've driven it so many times. You just want to go to the store. I think McDavid's a little bit like that. I think sometimes we take for granted the fact that like he gets the 1,000-point ceremony and just goes and puts up a routine 4 points. There will be a day where he retires, guys and ladies. We have to think about we're witnessing peak Connor and peak Leon right now and appreciate it as we see it go down.
Yeah, you have to remind yourself that. And this is a tough game against the top 0.0001 hockey players in the world. And to do what they have done, it's unbelievable. Enjoy it while you can. Big thank you to everyone who donated today. We got to our goal. We're going to end up raising $16,000 for the holiday hamper. Check them out online. You can make a donation as well. $40. Maybe that's what you want to donate. That buys a turkey. $20 goes a long way as well. So if you want to donate, go check them out. They need the help this year. Still pretty far short of their goal. But hey, we'll do some more work to wrap it up here and hopefully make them a lot more money as well. Have a great weekend, everyone. Be safe. Enjoy the game tomorrow. You got NFL. We got a whole lot more. And Loop's coming in 3:20. You got the Oilers tickets, buddy. Thank you very much. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home and no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter at legacyheating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update, games in the NHL right now. One at the end of the first. Maple Leafs and Caps tied 0-0. Kraken and Devils just about to start the second period. That one tied 1-1. And with just over 9 minutes to go in the first, the Penguins and Rangers also tied at 0-0. NBA scores right now. 76ers lead the Magic 41-33 with 4:40 to go in the second. Lakers and Hawks tied at 21 with 2:45 to go in the first. And with 5:45 to go in the first, the Bucks trail the Celtics 18-12. News around the sporting world. Oilers did acquire forward Jacob Perreault from the Canadiens in exchange for defenseman Noel Hoffenmeyer. And per the Elks themselves, the Elks have agreed to terms on a 3-year extension with quarterback Trey Ford. Rangers and Igor Shesterkin also agreeing on a contract extension, 8 years, $11.5 million AAV. Oil Kings in action tomorrow out in Medicine Hat, 7 p.m. puck drop. In the BCHL, Spruce Grove playing host to Okotoks tonight, a 7 p.m. puck drop. And the Golden Bears against Nate tonight and tomorrow. Tonight at the Drake at 7, tomorrow at the Nate Arena at 7 as well. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Fox Sports Radio is up next. The Saturday Sports setup tomorrow at 9. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.